killed it.
Yeah, the communication was on the table, and now it's on the plate. It looks like the brother ESP really worked out on this one.
That first 30 minutes was not cool.
I don't like cooking without you. I didn't get that sauce thick enough. It reduced down too much.
Yeah, my intent was to have it a cream sauce.
I didn't have enough time to like rest, so there's some juices happening. I feel like it might be over.
It's not what I had envisioned.
What was the
And I
vision?
had a broth going too. It was going to be the broth with the couscous in it.
Oh, yeah, so, no, I didn't put that together.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of broth there, so I didn't know what to
Well,
do.
I didn't want this much couscous on the plate.
Okay. Yeah, but you don't, like...
You need to understand.
Well, fuck, we were on mute.
Oh God.
One, by the way.
That is perfect. You can't have sports goose without.
Oh, it's a good thing I can edit this because it's me, Francisco, and joined by Charles, and Andrew's not here. I was talking about Splatoon, and I kind of just left it there for quite a while. You might have heard some faint Donkey Kong country music in the background because that comes out tomorrow. And I was just complaining about Splatoon and the Splatfest being this whole thing. And apparently Sophie Cunningham's now a thing because she's conventionally attractive enough for WNBA players, so people are just kind of gooning on that right now.
I had to take a brief pause, because King Wrestling Gooner over here, has kind of been. I don't watch the WNBA, not that I don't support women's sports in any capacity. It's just I don't even
on television, baby.
Okay, yeah. Well, ESPN, TNT, Turner, I'll just get that stuff going.
We don't have a Miami team either, so.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I know. Okay, we're just gonna go into this for 2 seconds.
All right.
I feel like every year there is like the next thing coming out of the WNBA, right? Because it was Caitlin Clark, who's amazing. Then you have Sabrina Ionescu, right? And then Kelsey Plum's still out there, kind of thing. Like everybody had something, so like I can't get into the hype when a lot of the accolades were that. And I did watch some of these women and young women play in the NCAA Women's March Madness, and they do make like I have other structural issues with WNBA, not of like the game itself, but just like how it can be broadcast and everything like that for better presentation. It's the same equivalent of what I have with hockey. It's the field of dreams concept. If you build it, they will come, because we live in a society where we do not like to be bored. So if you make the access to it so accessible, we will be there. It's just one of those things. Like I became a greater hockey viewer once it left DirecTV. I would watch, baseball more often if they, for whatever reason, black out their own market on the MLB TV. Makes no sense to me, by the way. On top of all this other stuff that came in. So same thing goes to women's basketball and other sports, because it's like, hey, I don't like being bored. You don't like being bored. You have a brain rot that comes from all the televisions. Television shows are out there. So there's things that I want to kind of view and everything, and I will watch it, because sports is a perfect, especially when me in my mid-30s, as I'm at the swan song of my life and my interest of things. I'm not dying, kids. I'm just talking about like the interest, because when you get older, your attention span just dwindles, right?
Yeah.
You focus what you can focus, everything goes. Is that I can multitask the crap out of everything. And one of my favorite things to multitask was these Monday Night Football shows, or part of the things. I don't watch full football, but what I would do is I would just play it on my Switch getting there. So, like, yeah, I have no problem with that accessibility to me if you give it in some capacity from there. So that's just my opinion on that. Everybody's supposed to be like the next big thing anyway for basketball. It feels very, it really actually does feel very footballish to a degree, because it was like, oh, it's the first round, like Jaden Daniels. I like the kid, but oh, he's doing some great stuff. And then there's another one that comes up. So you're 15 minutes of fame, but for the integrity of the sport, you gotta make me want to watch these people by giving me access to watch these people.
Well, that's the whole debate now about all these streaming services and everything kind of being split up, that you can't. You have so much choice, but at the same time, you have a lot of limitations. So it kind of hinders them at the same time. I've got Master Chef on in the background.
There you go.
On the show, in the studio. So it's back there because I had something plugged in. And I'm just like, you know what, screw it. I have the antenna, everything plugged in. Going towards that, the Florida Panthers went to broadcast over the air now. They have free broadcast, so anybody within, I guess
Valley
a
Sports.
third of the east coast of Florida, all the way down to the Keys, and even into the southwest Florida, around Naples and stuff, has access to the Florida Panthers games without a subscription or anything like that. I mean, you can buy a subscription on the phone if you'd like, but you can just do a free broadcast, which is great for me because that means that's how I get all those clips and everything for my Panthers Historian account. Do the plugs, Charles.
Follow us on Twitter, Charles and True, FJOJR, Damn Frijoles, Sports _Goose, Panther Historian, Marlins Historian, and whatever else. Andrew, he's Andy when he's not here. Andrew's going on because I still believe
Fear
he's
the Pegasus. Yes.
I don't want to give somebody I don't know a shout out, and I also I thought it was Andrew, that's why I followed Andrew. You guys have to remember, I do not nor really understand social media. I'm not old man yells at the cloud, Abe Simpson. I get the integral structure of it, but the way Twitter goes, even with Elon purchasing it, it's just so inconsistent, because I don't need every Christian ad, and I don't need every MAGA Republican, if anybody who knows me, and I don't need Elon with his stuff and all this other stuff going from there on my timeline, yet it happens to be there. So when it comes to people who I think are them, it's fine. And not that Panthers Historian's bad. I just don't care for UCF. And I would comment on the post thinking that it's Andrew, because he's a Pegasus, right? So he's a UCF fan. He's a Rays fan.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, that's Andrew 2 out of 3. And Andrew, he's not here, so this is his fault for not defending himself. Andrew is a common bandwagoner on football, so whatever this guy likes, if he goes and says, oh yeah, I like the Los Angeles Chargers, I would imagine that's Andrew just liking the Chargers. Justin Herbert's handsome. I get it. Okay. So that's where my brain goes. But and then I feel bad about unfollowing somebody who I have no general reason to unfollow because I haven't said anything so atrocious. It's just I don't care to see UCF stuff on my feed knowing it's not Andrew.
Yeah.
I do not care about Terry Morier as the AD there. Why do I know this? Because Fear the Pegasus, right? So that's my plug for you, Fear the Pegasus. I respect you. If I follow you, it's because I was mistaken identity. Well, I'm sure you're a fantastic human being, and you're not going to, flood my timeline. And look, my timeline is very basic because it's sports, gaming stuff, maybe one or two entertainment kind of people, and then wrestling, and then Gooners for wrestling, because that Elon's a very horny guy.
Oh yeah.
That's why he has 15 kids and then
when the group chats pop
mamas.
out, yeah.
Well, I mean, I have no shame. There's beautiful women and men in the chats, or in wrestling world. I have no shame at that at all, and I'm actually not derogatory. The most that you get out of me is Chile is the greatest country. Lord, hit me up, send the camera. What's up? And then everything else.
Oh yeah. What was the point you just made? I was gonna connect to something for myself, but oh well.
You were
Yeah,
So you're talking about background
I
and
talked
brain
about
rot in
Panthers
WNBA.
and the Panthers and all that stuff, and then NHL.
Access to things.
Yeah, NHL schedule came out today, so a bunch of teams did videos. They're not as
I saw the Ryan Lomberg one.
Yeah, some of them are okay. That's kind of cute and stuff like that. Of course, the NFL started all of that, which was pretty cool. I don't know. It's something.
Chargers are the only one who would knock it out of the park anyway.
Yeah. So I think it was fine. The Panthers just had like a Google search thing, which was amusing. That's the highest praise I can give it. Is amusing. Somebody went through a lot of work with it, so I gave them a shout out for that. Just hey, whoever did this, you put in the effort, which is good. At this point, so the show today, I kind of wanted to keep it as focused as possible, mainly because we started late. So
I mean, look, look at old man Charles over here is right off of the sunset.
Yeah,
I could be up till like 2 a.m. I've been up since 5, dude. So it's like I don't care anymore. You get that mania. Yeah, you get pretty much right. You get that mania.
Speaking
that
of,
in.
Actually, let's segue into that. So
Fandom show, everybody.
Death Stranding so far. You've played about 5 to 7 hours now.
7 hours.
Okay.
I haven't even finished episode
7 hours. You've sent me a few clips already. You're trying not
respectfully
try not to spoil anything. Mainly just showing me screenshots and landscapes of like the Southwest, whatever. You're going to Mexico. So far, as far as the progress made from this game from Death Stranding 1, how much of a leap is it from 1 to 2?
Can I break it down in 3 ways?
Yeah.
All right. So graphically, it's just stellar. I had the PS5 director's cut, so that was already good.
He's got the Pro, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So when I got Death Stranding 1, I was given that in relation. So I was already kind of ahead of the curve. I was not given the frame rate issue of the PS4 edition. I have to give a disclaimer to it. I have the Pro, I have an OLED, I have a sound bar, and it's just beautiful. It is breathtaking. The Decima engine and the artists who worked on it, because remember, not everything's an engine-based argument. There's designers, everything comes from it. It's just stellar working. I mean, the guy from Walking Dead plays Sam. I forgot his
Norman Reedus. Yeah.
It's almost as if he's there. Leah Sedor, or Sido, I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. Please forgive me and call me. Is
Gooding.
She looks. She's obviously the beginning. There's other characters I can't speak to, but the character likeness is there. But really, character likenesses and how they look and everything, especially of actors, is 50-50 on how to judge a game. I feel, because normally speaking, you're looking at pre-made cutscene, so it's there. It is the environment. It is the foliage in the trees. It is the crevices on the bottom as I'm starting the game near a mountain in Mexico. Not spoiler because it's kind of there that you're in Mexico for the moment. And it is just the emotion. So graphically, stellar, beautiful. Story, I can't tell you per se because I know it got me in there, right? It's technically like 18 months after the first one. But it is, I'm already invested because remember the first Death Stranding gameplay wise, it's just like a 7, right? Your Amazon delivery man. But damn, I'm gonna be the best Amazon delivery man for a creepy dead baby in my in my little bowl. But it was the story and the emotion. Because that's the thing, it's the emotion. It's what Kojima always wanted because Kojima wanted to be a filmmaker but never got it. So games are a great medium because they are a medium. We've talked about this, I think, many shows ago about how they just evolved, and there's a good thing and a bad thing for it. But story, let's see. I know my buddy is like 40 hours into it, and he's burnt out because he's doing every little thing. Yeah. And this is not a game that you can binge. So that's my disclaimer, people. So I'm very lucky to be playing that and Pokemon, right? Because those are 2 perfect games, which doesn't demand me to just kill 20 hours straight up coming into it. It is just as it is. So then there's the gameplay. And once again, because the console choice I'm playing with is PlayStation, you get a advantage with the dual haptic feedback or whatever they call it. The DualSense? Yeah. The DualSense controller. And you would think how much I hype it that I would know the name of it, but that's me. I'm meant to say.
Yeah, you get the resistance, the force feedback.
Yeah, you get the force feedback. You get the sounds coming from it, being able to grab your straps of your delivery backpack. And you have to kind of balance it. Now, mind you, if anybody's actually played Death Stranding, you just know the rule of thumb is you never not grab either of them individually. You always grab them together, right? That's a rookie's mistake. from there. But it's the same game. Like, granted, I think he improved a little bit of the physical combat that's in there, like not guns, but if you want to go hand to hand or use some weaponry. But I'm gonna change my playthrough a little bit where I will use firearms instead of just being stealthy, because for those who don't know in the lore, if you actually kill people and you don't dispose of their bodies properly, one, you lose points and everybody kind of hates you, and then two, it'll create void outs, which is like big explosion. So think about everybody as a nuclear. Think about perfect cell about to explode, or semi-perfect cell about to explode because Gohan punched 18 out. That's the best way, my nerds out there, my weebs. But I can already tell something special is cooking. And remember, it's Kojima, so you might say bloat. I just say it's kind of like excess sides, right? That's how I view Kojima games when it comes to the story component. You're giving me a good burger with a bunch of fries that I can't take home, so I have to eat it or leave some on the table. But much like my buddy Ross, I feel like I have to be compelled to. I want to connect all the stuff now, because now you see the bigger purpose. Because the first one, I think I connected everybody. I'm almost certain, and then I think I got a minimum of 4 stars on everybody because they're fetch quests, but they're fetch quests that make sense. Why? Because these are people who don't go out because there's dangerous things out there, so they might need their medication. They might need the teddy bear for a little kid. They might need the underwear or the medicine.
Or literally bringing human beings from one place to the other.
Yeah, and you need to kind of obligate to help out people. I'm not a utilitarian by any means, and I'm not a person who, has an archaic mindset or a fascist mindset. But I am a person who believes in human connectivity, that, no matter what your social status is and no matter what your beliefs are, you need to take care of people, because people are going to be disadvantaged, because one day you might be disadvantaged. Oh, Charles, that's never going to happen to me. Your 401k is going to be depleted before you actually die, because none of us are really going to go anymore until we're 90-something, the way that modern medicine's going in advance and the natural human body evolves. So that's the first thing I want to say that. And then two, people just go broke because everything is going expensive and we don't regulate certain things. I'm just saying, not to get political. So yes, it espouses some stuff, and I do feel Kojima is kind of explaining that, where if we look and humble ourselves to what the balance of life actually requires, we're going to want to help out people. And that's how I know I'm something special here, because it's not even about oh, hey, you need to help out the former United States of America, right? So that's why maybe I was all right, let me just rush you a little bit. Now it's connecting to the world, Mexico, presumably Australia, Canada, stuff like that I won't fully go into detail on. It kind of matters because I'm viewing this not as a game, but as an experience and a medium of entertainment. So I'm super duper excited, boy. So that's my thought process. So
okay, all right.
And it might change, but I'm gonna play it, I think, the proper way I need to play it, if that makes sense. Not I gotta binge 40 hours. Because I know people do that, and I respect you guys for doing it. I just don't have that time period. The last time I binged something was Liza P, and that took 20 hours, and that's fine too. But we are not gonna be able to get like that,
Okay. All right. Well, man, whenever that does come to PC, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I forgot how many hours I put into Death Stranding 1.
I got to record 38 hours.
Yeah, it was something significant, for sure, for me as well. I don't think I did everything, especially once the post game stuff. I kind of didn't really feel a need to. It's just kind of crescendoed at a necessary point for me after playing.
After that very emotionally well done finale, I don't want to do anything else. The story itself is done.
Yeah,
the story is done.
So,
and you have to just take a bow.
Yeah,
and do what everybody else does, and just watch on YouTube what those missions were, what the other stuff is.
So that's gonna be that's gonna be great. I'm getting geared up.
There's just so many good games that we're playing, man.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we got Donkey Kong coming out, so I will be diving real deep on that one. No pun intended, for sure. But I'm actually, for the first time in probably a while, I'm actually interested in the lore of a Mario based world game, right? A Mario world based game, right? Because the storyline is you got Donkey Kong and his crew, and they're trying to mine for golden bananas, and something happens which effectively turns Pauline into a kid, and now she's joining Donkey Kong, but Cranky Kong is there, and he was the original Donkey Kong that battled Mario. So I don't know. Is Nintendo trying to establish something with a timeline of some sort, which would be really weird and rare for them to do for any of the Mario series games. None of it has ever actually mattered for the most part. No game aside from like the direct sequels from like Mario Galaxy and all that stuff have ever kind of referenced the other games. They all just kind of happen and just.
I'm a mess with you real quick.
And I guess the RPGs, those are separate as well. But
well, there is only, in Charles's opinion, everybody's about to fight me on this. There is only one actual canon Mario story.
The first one?
Nope. And it's going to be the cheapest reason, but I'm curious to see if you see it how I see it. And I'll get me wrong. I'm probably wrong. I don't care. It is Mario Sunshine. Because Professor Flood leads the Luigi Mansion, and it's all connected. They have the same technology and everything like that.
Yeah.
Nothing else is really there. Galaxy, you could have, but even Galaxy itself is just kind of like the lost level compilations I gotta cut. Fantastic game. Hands down. But like that's really the intention of it. And I cannot say Super Mario Brothers 1, 2. 2 is not even acknowledged as the love child, right? You know, because there's some of that hatred that comes in. It's all just, hey, let's do a spin on it. What? Okay, I got to put my controller down, point to see if there'd be some stuff up, but I'm passionate about this.
Yeah.
All the other Mario games, aside from what I told you, because then you have to ask like Yoshi's Island, Yoshi's the one of these like transferring the babies, Yoshi's Story. Then it gets really confusing, right? Like,
I mean, the Yoshi series, I haven't played every game in the Yoshi series. I've only
no, but like they have. There's the one with like he's delivering the Mario babies.
Yeah, that's Super Mario World 2. So that's Yoshi's Island. That's maybe something. So, maybe if that's Metal Gear Solid 3 of the Mario series, I guess.
So here, well, it could work with Sunshine if you and the Luigi series if you follow my theory. All the other Marios is Little Women. Mm-hmm. There's a book, and there's been 5 adaptations of it, or A Star Is Born, which has had like 3 adaptations. Mm-hmm. It's just rewriting some stuff in different modernizations depending on the decade. Oh, but Charles, you know how there are some Mario games that, you know, are taking place in the same console generation. I'm very aware. And they tend to all be very distinctly different. The Wii game only had 2 Mario games that came out, correct? Not counting Super Mario Bros. Wii U.
Galaxy 2, and Mario Bros. Wii was probably like the only other one,
And Mario 64 was just Mario 64.
Yeah.
Sunshine was the only Mario.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like
even the Wii U 3D World was just on that, and 3D Land.
Correct.
On the 3DS.
And Wonder could be its own thing if they had the balls to do it. But we love Wonder because Wonder's just like, hey, we're just going to go out of the Mushroom Kingdom, which is boring, and we're just going to take you on an acid trip.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I've replayed some of Wonder on my Switch 2 just to see it, and it still holds. The problem is I got almost everything, so the replay is just going on levels that maybe I didn't get, like, that 110 or something like that. So it's like,
I did.
Unfulfilling. Yeah, we were close to 100% that. Like, the harder worlds are hard. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yes,
I
legitimately.
Patience for it. Like,
the last level was ridiculous. Level took me 45 minutes to beat.
Yeah, everything about that secret world, I'm like, nah, you know what? I don't have to be this man. Especially since we haven't played something in like a year, it takes a minute to come back to it. But all the other Marios are just Little Women. And the only one that's a canonical story that ought to be followed, if you really believe it, is Sunshine. Which is saying something that the series that already have been around for 20 years is actually the beginning of your entire tale.
Well, we'll see. Maybe Donkey Kong Bonanza is the start of something, because like Mario Odyssey had references obviously as well with Pauline and Mario, kind of throwing that back and kind of mentioning some of the things that.
Well, this actually has voice acting in the damn game.
Yeah, so
consider that.
Yeah, Nintendo's putting up significant storyline here compared to anything that they've ever done. The fact they're doing a Donkey Kong makes it good because they can kind of experiment with that character more than anything else. He's actually one of the characters that they experiment the most with, aside from Wario.
I feel like we hear Nintendo's Hit Squad outside my house for that very controversial statement.
And
they're like, "Oh my god, he figured it out. Next, he's gonna figure out the Zelda timeline."
Oh boy. And they casted Zelda recently, so
that's fine. They're gonna give me Game of Thrones Zelda.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a British-sounding empire, which, mind you, none of my characters are British up until they just recently released those games where voice acting was there besides Ganon going,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah.
really, you know what? I'm going to put on blast real quick. They're young enough. Just make it Wind Waker. Just make that game Wind Waker. Javier Bardem, Ganondorf, Wind Waker. You got Link being 16. Zelda's like 16. Do it. We're there.
Yeah.
We're there.
That
We're
works. Yeah. That's a good storyline to follow, too.
That is the only storyline to follow without on a pure narrative tale.
Yeah.
For a movie entertainment, pretty simple. Pirates. She's not really a pirate. She's legendary, but she's kind of like, her own kind of joie de vivre. You get this samurai-looking dude who they won't say whether or not he's from the clan or the tribe. I forgot their name of it. The Bows, right? Because that's like very high-end. And then you have a guy just trying to save his sister. And I'm like, that's the simplest narrative. Good luck trying to explain Ocarina, because they're going to steal some elements. Like, even the Mario movie had like some light elements and everything. But they can't go Ocarina. They're going to go like 1, 2, and 3, or Link's to pass, all that stuff, because they're so like storyless as a game.
Yeah, Link to the Past is, even though Ocarina of Time is, a lot of people will say it's just Link to the Past in 3D. But yeah, the Wind Waker is probably your best, like, safe, like, all around, you want to get everybody on board storyline. That'd probably be it. Because like Twilight Princess, you can't.
You could,
Twilight Princess was so dependent upon Ocarina of Time that you can't really do its own storyline for it. It was literally a sequel to Ocarina of Time in a sense. You can't do some of the side games, especially. So none of those.
Can't do Majora's because Majora isn't technically canon, right?
Yeah, or it kind of is, but it isn't. I have no idea, but
it's just like the Mario games.
And
Look
then,
at that, Nintendo. I hear them knocking. I figured out the code.
And then, and then some of the newer stuff. I mean, even they
can't touch Kingdom and all that. That's a
that's
not even a true sequel to.
They've said that they're a separate timeline on their own. That's has nothing to do with the original timeline. There's just
what it is, it's a parallel
two standalone games. Yeah, two standalone games that kind of sort of and have two side games to go along with them that are also not canon to them anyways because of how much they change and the time traveling and all that stuff. So I don't know, but Donkey Kong's gonna have something like that because they got to figure out a way of why this is a little girl now, unless they're completely retconning the entire thing, which I'm like, okay, fine, because they have Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong are there as like side characters for like I don't know, bonus missions or something like that. I'm not sure how involved they'll be in the storyline.
And he needed to have his own movie.
Yeah,
Not movie. He needed to have his own game. I love Diddy Kong. He my dog. I love Dixie Kong. She my dog. But this guy had been shirked by just being a rare game, or retro, whatever makes it, for so long as a 2D adventure that, they didn't even produce a new one for like 12 years, my guy. So what are we going to be on about, right? You needed this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you needed this. You can only do Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Returns HD so often.
I do like how Nintendo's swinging with some of these characters. Because they never made a 3D Kirby game. They just made a 64, which wasn't really 3D.
And then, bam!
Yeah, and then they come out with an excellent 3D Kirby game. And they're like, oh, well, this is fantastic. And I haven't even played it yet because I'm waiting for the Switch 2 edition to come out.
I enjoyed it. I knew nothing about what was going on because I barely played Kirby as a kid on my Super NES. But because Kirby, you don't realize that Kirby is actually basically an angel from the actual biblical eras that we don't
Which
understand.
means
and
those
he's just reborn
videos,
in a fat little pink.
Those videos from I forgot what they're called, Terminal Velocity, the animations, where Kirby's just a completely Christian character, kind of makes sense.
Kirby is not a fallen angel, but an angel sent by the gods to fight the fallen angels. He just becomes cool with the regular people. And why is my Waddle Dee a Crip? That's always why I wonder. He's got a blue bandana. I'm like, all right, dog. Like, I need his negative component to be like a blood Waddle Dee. And Meta Knight, to a degree, is a fallen angel seeking redemption. I've watched Dogma. Okay, I know what this is. Meta Knight is Ben Affleck's character, and Kirby's just one bad away from being Manty. I get you, but really, Kirby's Metatron. Wow. I live action Kirby, get me Alan Rickman's AI voice, we're good.
And yeah,
Actually, no, he would be Chris Rock if you read it the way. Oh my God, yeah, I'm just there for that right now. Kirby as Chris Rock, or Chris Rock as Kirby.
I'm happy about Nintendo making big swing, especially for Donkey Kong as well, because this is his second 3D game. 64 was good, but it was like if you played Mario 64, it's like DK64 was that on steroids, or Banjo-Kazooie, the same thing. But DK64, I think is good. Well, I think maybe in a couple weeks it'll probably be re-released on the Switch too to coincide with this. If not, maybe tomorrow.
They're very surgical, Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're not the F with. They're very smart.
Yeah, so they're probably like, hey, you like DK Bonanza? How about get the premium edition and of Switch Online, you'll get DK64 and play all of his games. So, so I think that'll happen as well. And then, I mean, as far as their other series are concerned, the only other ones that actually put effort was with the storyline was like Kid Icarus, because Sakurai took it over and he wanted to make an actual animated storyline and that type of stuff. But that game seriously does need to get remade. Icarus Uprising. Fire Emblem has its own whole thing, and
I can't.
Yeah, that's an anime. It's just
every time I see Three Houses, I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
but then I'm like, I can't
just
play.
very anime, very Japanesey, very dating simmy, in a sense as well. And the only other one that Nintendo will never give Charles is a legitimate, true
it has the perfect story.
Star Fox. That's set up and ready. Metroid also is good, but the way that they've already presented Metroid is good enough as it is. It doesn't. It just has to be alien, but without all the talking. So that's all it just needs to be. It's just her fighting monsters and aliens and all type of stuff. But Star Fox is meant to be a space opera.
How? It's just what I want to know. Y'all like Top Gun, right?
And Miyamoto likes the series, which is weird. Except he's too focused on Pikmin right now.
Well, that's the problem, Francisco.
Which is also set in space, by the way. Also
Pikmin
set in space, by the way.
Only canon story game that Nintendo ever supports, because Miyamoto's like, no, but 1, 2, 3, and 4 all Link.
Yeah.
No
Yep.
pun intended. Speaking about Nintendo, but like, I don't understand, nor do I respect the lack of respect that Nintendo, who gives me some weird stuff, they go and say, oh, because not all their games sell well, but they're gonna be like, oh, we don't want to give it to them. You motherfuckers, one. Because like Star Fox is simple. Y'all like Top Gun? You actually want to see what happens if Maverick actually did something instead of like just being in a test simulator at pilot school? Because that's what Top Gun 1 is. I didn't see 2, so I can't speak to it. But like, it's right there, man.
Yeah.
It's right there. You know, if you like any of the combat, like,
it's got elements of a little bit of everything with like Star Wars and Star Trek and
the problem is I blame the GameCube because they tried stuff and they filtered to people who didn't understand the series because they tried. And you know what, man? Dinosaur Adventure, if it was in the Wii era when the PS3 came out, they would have been like, oh, Nintendo's answered Uncharted, because that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Uncharted before Uncharted. But straight up, that's what it was. And then they came with Star Fox Assault, which was like Konami or something. Really
Namco.
Background. Namco.
Yeah.
Because
Pac-Man.
I can, I can see a Dynasty Warriors ripoff with a running gun that wasn't even that good. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity. Like, y'all don't think.
And then they had like a weird DS game for whatever reason, which is what Nintendo did in that era. Was like, you know what? Let's give them all weird DS games. They did it for Chibi Robo as well. But yeah.
So one of the first things that Francisco and I got cool with in law school was our love for Nintendo, and I had just picked up Star Fox Zero.
we had a Wii U.
Yeah, we're the only 2 people, right? So like, I was the only dude that you probably knew that picked up this game because I'm like, you know what? I love Star Fox. I know it's a remake of 64, but the Wii U's got some pretty solid graphics. Newsflash, it really didn't, but that's because it was like, you know, okay, I'm gonna say this. The Wii U, God, please, I hope the new job doesn't background me when I say it. The Wii U was a hand job of a console, right? You enjoy the kissing a little bit getting there, but everything else in between, please edit that. Edit it. You're going from that. But that's how it felt. You know, it wasn't the most engaging console past the whole novelty of it. But I was like, Star Fox, let's do this. And you're like, I remember, you're like, you could just get, because that's apparently how Francisco talks circa 2016. You could just get Star Fox 64 on the eShop for like $10. And mind you, $10 was hard to kind of come by at that final stage and stuff in law school for me. And then I'm just like, even my hubris, I don't play old games, which is a lie because I play like 2 old games each year. But it wouldn't be that one because I didn't want to play an emulation. I wanted Nintendo to justify this purchase I made for a year and a half ago. So yes, you got me, man. I fell for the bait. You probably planned it. The minute you started conversation, like, I'm going to talk about Star Fox, and I'm going to have this man show you a full, manic depressive breakdown. And that's what happened. I just literally had one about Star Fox. It's just so cool. You know how many times I couldn't buy that game? I bought it, rented it from Hollywood Video. That's right. That's how old I am. Yeah. And I beat that like 6 times. Played with my family. Made mom and dad go from there. My dad's like, I still remember, I was like, why is the joystick so weird? Because the N64 had the weirdest controller. Yeah. Like, you want to talk about a sex toy shop, that's what it looked like. God bless Nintendo for making regular things, because I'd be embarrassed to be like, that's not a sex toy, that's just a controller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. So, yeah, aside from that, but I'm excited for Donkey Kong tomorrow. I'm definitely going to binge a lot of it. Oh, yeah, now I remember, because you mentioned Damn Frijoles. I played with Damn Frijoles last night. Video game aside from Splatoon. So we started Halo 2. We only got through the first mission. But most of all, I think I could sense the joy in his voice of re-experiencing it. You can play it with 2 different graphics settings with the Master Chief Collection. You can put the old school graphics or the new ones. I set it to old school, and so did he. Just to relive the game as it was. But I could tell like he wants to make it a thing. We got it set up, everything on the computer. We had a bit of an issue when it crashed on him the first time before he loaded whatever, and then we fixed it up, and now he was good to go. But I think I got him with this Halo thing, Charles. Yeah. Charles? Oh, you're gone. Ah. All right. I was just talking about myself, Charles. He's missing now. I don't hear him anymore. Well, Charles is somewhat gone, or maybe he's lost connection of some sort. It's just me now. So it's me, Francisco, here from Sports Goofs, just by myself, and I guess I'll figure out something to talk about. Well, I mean, I can talk about the Florida Panthers schedule coming out. So the Panthers schedule came out today, actually, with the rest of the NHL. And some notable games that I pointed out on my Panthers history account is, we've got this here. Obviously, we're going to have opening night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Man, it was a terrible... It's probably like the worst... not matchup. Not a matchup, but from a perspective of the opponent, I don't know why the Florida or the NHL chose to put the Florida Panthers up against the Chicago Blackhawks. Not only that, because Chicago Blackhawks are a terrible team. I know they're an original 6. I know they probably did it for ratings, but you're putting up the best team in the league. And that's how you have to acknowledge them until they are knocked off their perch as Stanley Cup champions. The best team in the league against one of the worst teams in the league. A team that's, yes, rebuilding, putting some pieces around Connor Bedard and all that stuff. But what else is enticing people to see the Blackhawks aside from, well, it's Chicago. Chicago, now 10 years removed since their last Stanley Cup championship. And yes, a very good generational talent in Bedard so far, and nothing else surrounding him. Spencer Knight returning? That's not really a story for anybody, because nobody outside of the Panthers really knows who Panthers fans and Blackhawks fans really truly knows who Spencer Knight is. And they set them at 5:00 p.m. Eastern on a Tuesday. So we didn't even get the primetime game. The primetime game for that slot, it's a triple header from ESPN. 5 p.m. for the Panthers. 8 p.m. it was the New York Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. The New York Rangers didn't make the playoffs last year. Neither did the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yet, somehow, the Penguins still carry some importance for some people because Sidney Crosby's still on the team for now with Evgeny Malkin and Chris Letang. And you have the New York Rangers who also didn't make the playoffs and just are there, and they're just carrying off the fact that they're the New York Rangers. And we already have the Rangers set for a slot prime time with the Panthers for the Winter Classic. I wouldn't have even minded if we had them for the opening night as well. Just from, okay, this is a more enticing opponent against the Panthers than the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are in the Western Conference as well, which doesn't make any sense. But the Panthers are the defending Stanley Cup champions. And then you have the West game, which is, I have no idea what the West game is. I think it's like the Canucks and or Utah versus Vegas. I have no idea. It's something stupid like that. Oh, hey, Charles.
Hold that thought. Are you back? I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
All right. I guess you could title this as Nintendo was at the door, like Georgia on my mind and Nintendo on the door, because I just get a random kick, and usually my internet's pretty good. I'm like, oh shit,
yeah.
I'm like, they actually are gonna get me now. So I'm back. All I heard was Canucks. I got nothing for you. I'm back in the game though.
No, I just went off on the NHL schedule coming out today, and the fact that they put the Panthers at 5:00 p.m. Eastern on a Tuesday to open up the entire season. Yes, they will be the first team playing, but their opponent is the Chicago Blackhawks, which is a Western Conference team that was one of the worst teams last year. And their only, I guess, is that some people still think about the Blackhawks, even though they're 10 years removed from their last championship. And you have Connor Bedard, who's a good player, but he's surrounded by nothing with the Blackhawks. So I don't know what the NHL was thinking with that.
Ichiro Suzuki of the hockey,
and not even right now, but I don't know what the NHL was thinking with putting that as the schedule instead of putting the Panthers in prime time against a different opponent. They put New York versus Pittsburgh, and just on name alone, even though neither of those teams made the playoffs last year, so you put two mediocre teams. The simple solution
would just be putting Panthers and
Panthers
and Lightning.
Well, no, they wouldn't do Panthers Lightning because that doesn't draw as many eyeballs. The solution would have been Panthers Bruins again, or Panthers Rangers, but they already have that for the Winter Classic in Lone Depot Park later on, or Panthers Maple Leafs, which would have been fantastic. That was the opponent I really wanted the most. But the Panthers usually schedule those teams around winter time, like the holidays, Thanksgiving or Christmas. So I could see why they didn't want to burn one of those opponents, but they did it last year with the Boston Bruins. So I don't know.
Mandatory rule on all sports: first game to kick off the season, rematches. That's how you're going to get everybody. Not this whole will they play again kind of thing. You're not going to get Cavs Warriors every time, right? Especially with the way a lot of sports are. But you did get Oilers. So yeah, why are you not giving me Oilers and Panthers right off the bat? It's one game.
Yeah,
baseball, I would say
they only play. They only play twice a year, anyways. So
yeah,
it's
that's what I want to see.
You
can't build rivalries in sports if you're not trying to acknowledge the rivalry.
Yeah,
the rivalries are made off of drunk, fat sports fans. Barstool included. Trash. I don't care about your dick, Portnoy. Sue me. Don't sue me. I'm a bad lawyer. Sometimes. But yeah, and then just social media pundits. But you know what? Like maybe you get that one crazy player, but that's it.
Yeah.
Put it on. What did we tell you? Casual fans are good for any business. Us diehards, we do nothing to produce it. Some of you diehards don't even procreate, myself included. So it's like I don't have even the legacy to pass on.
Yeah.
But if you say, hey, here's the NHL Stanley Cup final teams, and they're starting the season, and this is their backstory. You're building up a wrestling storyline, brothers. I don't think y'all realize that. Just
Good
saying.
segue.
And the story sets up the intensity for the match. The match itself could be fine, but everybody loves the story, right?
Segue. So yeah, that was just me trying to carry the show while you were gone.
You did fine. You did good.
Yeah, I just found something I knew I could talk about and just like throw it out there. MLB All-Star Game happened.
I saw the funniest tweet that said, "Now after seeing Aaron Boone manage for 7 innings, I now understand why Yankee fans are so angry."
That's a good one.
I was dying because for 8 years, this man has survived his tenure
Dear Lord.
longer, maybe almost 10, I think, longer than my time in my current employment. Now I'm about to probably leave. You know, what is this nonsense? In all sports, no one lasts 7, 8 years unless they win titles. Dave Roberts has survived, but Dave Roberts has produced 2 World Series championships. Eric Spoelstra has stayed for like 20 years because he has produced all those titles. Bill Belichick produced until he was blackballed for probably telling Robert Kraft that he was a participant in human trafficking and he couldn't stand for that because Robert Kraft was a participant in human trafficking. I don't care what anybody tries to tell me on motion suppress. You can't lawyer me on that.
Let's see.
He stayed for all those songs because he produced all those titles in winning seasons.
So Aaron
Boone has gone to 1 World Series.
Aaron Boone.
They put Nestor Cortez. Why? You set me off at Starbucks. Call this the episode where Charles spills Hulk, man.
Aaron Boone. Oh boy, we're gonna dive into
I'm gonna
this.
shut the hell up on this
Aaron
one.
Boone.
You just broke that seal, man.
Aaron Boone started his managerial career. Remember, coming from the broadcast booth, so no other prior managerial experience.
Could have just lived in minor leagues for a couple years.
He became the manager of the Yankees for the 2018
Yes, man,
season.
over here.
After
yes, network. Yes, man.
After replacing Joe Girardi, who lost the American League Championship that season and won the World Series, by the way.
Went to like 3 American League championships.
Yeah. So and
didn't get swept.
True.
Didn't get swept.
So
granted, 2017, you get a pass there because the Houston Astros are cheap. Sorry.
Yeah, and then they chose not to retain him. He wasn't fired. Joe Girardi was not fired. They just didn't want to keep him around anymore.
Yes,
and then Aaron Boone came in, and the saga between him and Charles started.
I've been right every step of the way. I absolutely refuse. Blame does go to Cashman for a lot of stuff and some of these players who play, but I've been.
And what about Hal? Was it Hal or Hank? Which one's alive?
I think it's Hal.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, but the thing is though, is owners. It's not like the Steinbergs have not been like, hey, throw money. I think fans are a little bit unrealistic of how much money they want to put onto the payroll. But Rodon, we signed a long time. Cole, we signed for a long time. Giancarlo, we picked up that long contract. If anything, I'm glad we didn't put Gleyber Torres, but yet he's an all-star somehow with Detroit. Where was this, brother, in your final couple of years? Oh, I didn't have that opportunity. Okay, but you lost the opportunity. Gary Sanchez, thankfully, we didn't, sign him, the baby bummer. But we picked up, even Freedom a long time. So there's still some guys marquee there. Could we have everybody? Sure. Would I like them to spend more money? Sure. But this isn't like billionaires who don't want to spend, which is a lot of other teams. And most of the owners in baseball are either individuals or they're part of a big conglomerate that has subdivisions, like looking at you, the LA sports team. And the reason why they can spend all that money is because that got everybody and their mother contributing to it. So they'll never go out of debt. So, I'll blame ownership, but then I blame Cashman. But who do you think's in Cashman's ear as well? You need a manager kind of maybe I want this a little bit, and you need your scouts and everything. Is this my angry episode? I'm about to take off my shirt here. Now you've got liquor in me. What's up?
Yeah. Well, All-Star Game, and ended up on a swing off, so they tried that.
What is
for the
that?
first time.
I don't watch the All-Star. I'm going to go on the rant after you're done, because I've talked a lot.
So, swing off. The All-Star Game, the National League was up 6-0.
Each other? Like what?
I think it was rigged, in all honesty.
Rigged.
I think this game was rigged, in all honesty, because they introduced a lot of things so that we can kind of start getting used to it right now, because I think they're about to introduce some some stuff. Maybe.
I can't get a robot ump if my life depended on it.
Yeah, well, they did try that last game, for the All-Star game. They did the stuff that they're already trying in the minor leagues with the automated ball strike system. They tried it out for the first time with the major league players, challenging balls and strikes. So that was on hand for the first time. So we're gonna get used to it because it's gonna happen. And then the end of the game ended in a tie. So they decided to do a swing off, which was, it's a little akin to, it's a home run derby and a little bit like the shootout in the Stanley Cup, or penalty kicks in soccer or in the NHL or whatever. And so 3 players from the American League, 3 players from the National League, they went at it, right? Whoever, 2 rounds between 2 guys, I think they have like 3 swings or something like that. And they had to get as many home runs in those 3 swings, so you could go perfect 3 for 3.
So we're just gonna piss on the. I'm not counting as a curse. We're just gonna piss on the pitchers who earned it. Bowl of cereal, just so we can get.
Well, there wasn't even the pitchers for the swing off. It was like their pitching coach or their whoever does.
And Barry Bonds can't get into the Hall of Fame.
Whoever throws BP for the teams was the one that was throwing the balls at the players there, and I mean it was fun. It was fun. I mean, Kyle Stowers of the Marlins was chosen as one of the guys, which was fun to see. And then Kyle Schwarber was basically the one that won it for the National League.
Yeah,
we have Pete Alonso as well, because I think we have the bigger boppers in the National League compared to the American League.
Because all those guys eat nothing but baked beans, except for Kyle Stowers. But like Schwarber ain't saying no to a donut in his life. Kind of same thing with Alonso. I'm just saying. Yeah. I love a big beefy player who hits home runs for me.
Yeah. So National League won based on that, but it was an interesting experiment. Although I don't think every team could really produce guys that could do those types of things, because a swing off. I mean, not every team has a actual real power hitter, and I don't know. It'd be interesting, but a bit weird, and you'd have to find a way to balance it. You'd have to actually bring out like a pitching machine.
You don't put Jazz Chisholm at all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Jazz kind of.
I love Jazz, but Jazz ain't a power hitter. So I'm like, why are you in the home run derby?
I think they needed some guys. Like, a lot of the guys didn't want to do
it. I love Jazz. I love Jazz.
Yeah, Aaron Judge wasn't going to do it for sure. And then, I think they just needed some guys to fill out some stuff. Okay, let Jazz do it. I mean, he hits home runs, but he's got 30 home run power, maybe, or high 20s home run power. So that's being helped out by that short porch in right field, because he didn't have that in Miami.
Yeah, but he was hitting a lot of home runs, not in Miami. Like any other pitcher, the best pitchers, the best hitters are sometimes guys who just know when to hit the ball and where it lands because they study the tape. It's like Dingerville. He ain't Dingerville. He ain't a resident there. And his thing, the 2 men who are on my team, Yanks and, on the Yanks are Giancarlo and Aaron.
Yeah. So that happened. All-Star game. Yeah, it was nice. Whatever. Atlanta did it. And I don't know who does it next year. I forgot.
I don't know. You're lying through your teeth because you say they're going to be reusing Hank Aaron's, soul into existence.
Oh, no. I legitimately meant that. The Braves are still trying out Hank Aaron.
Which was the funniest thing I've read in a while.
I mean, they've been.
And there's a lot of trolls on Twitter. That's why you need to follow Miles' story on Twitter.
He died in 2021. It's been 4 years. Okay. But my brother-in-law did make a point.
Well, tell him what you said.
They're really milking the dead carcass of Hank Aaron. That's what I said.
Why? Because they hate Barry Bonds.
Well, that Barry Bonds erasure, that's what I called it. Because they were just doing the 715 thing. But my brother-in-law did make a point that the Braves were originally going to host the 2021 All-Star game, but then it got taken away from them because of the voter bill laws that they passed in Georgia, and Colorado got it, and they were probably just doing the tribute that they would have done for him because that was the year that he actually died. So they didn't get a chance to, even though they won the World Series that year. So I think they've done enough charting out the dead carcass for quite a while. They have these semi-retro throwback uniforms for him. There's a bunch of stuff, but like, you know, it's been 4 years. I'm just saying, like, the Yankees weren't charting out Yogi's dead body like that.
I did tear up a little bit when I saw Joe Torre.
Yeah, I mean, he was an MVP with the Braves, I think. I think he was. Yeah. He managed them for a little bit too. So, and and he's famously, you call him the ugliest manager of all time. Or
he's the ugliest manager alive.
yeah.
Like, you know, I'm gonna say this, and I say it's all love with Joe. I say all love, but I feel like Colin Farrell's Emmy Award nomination with Penguin makeup was based off they saw a picture of Joe Torre, like, yeah, that's the one.
All right, 55 minutes.
Love you, Joe.
Just gonna non-sponsor this.
All-Star rant. Let me get that real quick before the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick onto it. Just give them the votes so they can get into the contracts, because it doesn't matter anymore. The minute you took away from baseball the ability to get home field advantage, which actually makes sense because the concept is that a lot of players on the All-Star tend to be on teams who are actually in the postseason or have a chance to get to postseason contention. That's how Stowers gets in there, right? Like, ain't nobody from the Rockies out there. I'm surprised they had a dude from Oakland Athletics there. But the minute you took it away, you defeated it, because now I just don't care, because the home run derby is fun enough, right? But I could also just go on YouTube and watch actual home runs on games that matter, one. But I don't have home field advantage. Now you just change it to where pitching is just dead if you get this whole, like, swing off. And I would say apply that to everything. Basketball had to change it for the skills challenge, but then I'm going to be subjected to, like, you know, one day I'm going to be subjected to just bad players doing it, like the dunk contest. You don't have, like, home field advantage in the finals in there, and you could with East West, but now they're doing teams, whatever. And then football, the pro Bowl is like, they realize it's just not worth it. So, like, All-Stars don't matter. I was like, contract escalator, it matters. But guys, it's kind of, to a degree, this is an inflammatory episode. It's kind of, to a degree, like voting in the state where you're the minority side, right? You're a third-party person. You're a libertarian, or you're the Green Party, or you're like, you know, all those, you're a socialist, you're all this stuff. You ain't going to win the way the system is, so why bother? So why bother giving me the All-Star games if you're taking away the big competitive advantage? Just say, oh, you know, it's just cool for them. It's good for them. It's good because they're going to get more money out of it. But, like, save me the TV time.
Oh, man. But they need something around this time of the year for baseball, and because there's no...
You could just watch WNBA. Share the pie a little bit. Let players rest. I mean, Max Fried couldn't even pitch, and he was selected as an all-star. I think he might have been... No, Tariq Skubal would have been a starter. But, like, because the next day lined up, so you're not even dudes have to, like, I like Carlos Rodon enough. You've heard me go on the rants, but he should not really have been an all-star at, like, 9-6, man. Like, with a, like, 3.34 ERA. I don't know. Whatever, guys. I don't care anymore. I'm going to have to pop an eyeball.
All right. So, people, places, things concept that we've been enjoying over the last week or so. You went I went first last week, Charles. What do you got going on?
All right, so I'm going to give two because Andrew's not here. So I'll start with the one that makes the most sense, and then we'll go like there. So after my ranting and raving about Star Fox, the All-Star Game, Aaron Boone, I need a little hope in my life. It's hard. Hope is good. Hope is needed in this human time. It's just like Death Stranding. You have to find connectivity. You need to find hope. And sometimes that hope is the escapism in movies. And there's one character who is a symbol of hope. If you look up the sky, faster than plane, a speeding bullet. And the problem is just who has been given the reins has not given you much hope, because this character just does not have a good movie track record. And I will not say I'm the first person who knows all of the Superman catalog, and I do read comics. It's been a minute, man. I haven't even continued Berserk on my mangas. But I've read enough, and I was spoiled, because we're talking about my generation. Wow, I feel old because only two people are going to know that. With Biscuit, you guys should know. I was spoiled with the DC animated universe's Superman, played by Tim Daly, Superman the Animated Show, which I own on Blu-ray. Yeah. I bought that Black Friday. Have I watched it? No, but now that I'm going to be in a remote job, I'm going to clear my library in the background noise for a lot. And then the Justice League, but Superman 1 and 2 by Richard Donner, fair. You know, I think 1's better than 2, even though people love 2. I think they just like Zod, but there's some issues there. Anytime you have to make a director's cut, 2 director's cut, the problem. 3 and 4 are just terrible. When Richard Pryor becomes your man, and I love Richard Pryor, but when he's your main character instead of Superman, just bad. And then Superman Returns was just the dullest movie ever made. Brandon Routh, you did fine as Clark Kent and Superman. And I don't even like Kevin Spacey in that movie as Lex Luthor. It was just bad. And then I liked Man of Steel by Zack Snyder. Hated everything else that came from it. And the Snyder Cut was so boring. I think people just like creative expression why they redid it, but it was just not good. And Josh Whedon's Justice League version of Superman is barely there. I think I said Spider-Man. Sorry, my brain's going because I'm like I had an aneurysm talking about Aaron Boone and Joe Turner at the same time, and everything else. And then Batman vs Superman was just the dumbest thing I've ever watched. It was just a guy playing with his action figure. It was nothing coherent. Everything of that nature. And then so James Gunn and I have a weird history because I think the first 2 Guardian movies are actually some of the best comic book movies. It's just regular movies out there. It checks the boxes with the acting, the story, and the soundtrack. I did not like Guardians 3. I think it was very average. It was like a 6 to me. And it's because Gunn's humor I felt like was overtaking it, and the moments he thinks were emotional, really emotional. Anytime you give me Animal Heaven when he's about to give up the ghost and I start laughing in the middle there, and I'm a big animal supporter. I like them more than people. But I'm giggling about Raccoon Heaven, brother, we got a problem. Super, or not Super, but the one where he made about like what if Superman was a bad guy, whatever, was okay. And then Suicide Squad was fine, right? The Peacemaker show was not good, but I watched that trailer and I was like, oh yeah, I know they got me. I know they got me because this man read stuff. Here's the problem with Zack Snyder. Everything he read about Batman and Superman, it felt like came from Frank Miller. Frank Miller is super overrated. Yeah, so he's fine. Fine, take it. Yeah, I'll give you Dark Knight Returns. That's fine. I'm a Dick Grayson fan. Everybody knows me. He's like, that's my favorite DC person. And the fact that you made Boy Wonder get cosmetic surgery and the Dark Knight Strikes Again, and he just gets blown into the sun. Fuck you, Frank Miller. That's fine. I say that was the book. I have a Nightwing pop that I have never boxed up coming into it. I say that for reasons one day that maybe I'll go to my character deep dive if we have time to show. But I saw James Gunn, I saw the movie, like, yeah. And I already knew the positives that were coming into that movie. Of what I was going to like, that they were just going to give me a Superman movie where they just dropped me into it. Where they've already established like the Justice Society with Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Mr. Terrific, and some other people in there. I'm like, all right, that's fine, because you could do an origin story, but the problem is that with all the Superman movies, it's always been, here's Superman, here's Clark Kent, here's Lois Lane, maybe here's a Jimmy Olsen gets screen time, maybe there's a Parasite, and there's Lex Luthor or other stuff, but there's no other people interacting. He's the guy I want interacting with every super person. You call them meta-humans now if you want. They're superheroes or super people, whatever you want to call them, I don't care. Unlike Batman, who already has that same thing. But I digress. I saw Superman in IMAX. That was my first go to IMAX. That experience, my eyes kind of hurt because I thought I was far back enough, but I wasn't, because it's very CGI heavy as a movie, so my eyes were kind of bleeding a little bit. IMAX was fine. It was $20, so like in today's movie times, I'm like $55 more. I'll do it, right? Going from there. The movie is stellar. I give it a 9. I'm not even gonna play. Soundtrack's good. Knew how to get emotional. I might have teared up a little bit, and if you guys watch it, go from there. The movie is funny, but not meant to be funny in certain degrees. It's just the James Gunn humor. I know how he does this stuff where he's like, I don't know if you've seen like the Guardian movies or other stuff that he's done, but at times it's like, okay, the first time you watch it is for those main characters and that dialogue, and the second time you watch it, you notice like little things in the background going from there. But the story is good. It gets comic booky. I don't know if you saw it yet, Francisco. I would recommend it. It gets comic booky. When I'm not talking about comic booky like, oh, there's comic book sequence. I'm talking like the opening crawl scene for the movie is very much like, Star Wars. Not done in the style of Star Wars, but gives you a little narrative of what's going on. And like there's weird like mad science. And when I say by mad science in a comic book movie, is that sometimes when these writers who do things and know how to explain, they go, oh, quantum physics. That's all, like pocket dimensions, right? Like that's all you need in that sense. So you have to kind of throw out logic sometimes going from there. But I think David Corenswet does an excellent job as Clark Kent. Superman. Could use a little bit more Clark Kent in my life of him being a reporter, but what do I know, right? I thought Rachel Brosnahan did very well as Lois Lane. She's got like the Margot Kidder spunk and just has a different dynamic to Lois Lane. She's a punk rocker. For those who know, they'll understand. There is a very emotional telling of like family and relation and why it's good to be a good human being. And I feel like that's the relevant thing I've been saying, that Kojima was saying, and I didn't plan it. I knew Superman was going to be my non-sponsor, but like it was fine. I don't care about connected universes, whatever. I view each movie individually, even when they're on the big string of things. I just want it to be good. I want the escapism. I want to feel something. Because you got to remember, when you're talking about like mediums that you're taking, you're adapting, I might have read the same comic as you. Superman Legacy, Red Sun, all this other stuff that comes in there that, my brain's not working, right? Or I might watch the same thing. So I feel like I have a vested interest of how you turn a character. We read the same thing and you have a different interpretation. With any book, really, right? Coming into it, or any comic, or any game adaptation, looking at you, Miyamoto, what you can do with Zelda. If you do make copy Wind Waker, you owe us royalties. So I'm not going to hold it like I own it, but I have an opinion on it, right? The subplots are kind of there. It's good. I think Mr. Terrific's obviously awesome for reasons. If you don't know Mr. Terrific, your only exposure to him might be in the Arrowverse, but he's a cool background character. Not background, he's always serious. I like the little thing they're doing with the Justice Gang. That's what I'm calling him, because that's kind of like the name mentioning into it. Guy Gardner's great. The minute I saw Guy Gardner and Bulk, I'm like, yeah, because I know the Green Lanterns, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they can do Kyle, yeah. But I'm like, he's gonna be an absolute prick, and he was, and I loved it.
Well, they got Nathan Fillion, so that was,
perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like, who doesn't get enough love? I feel,
amongst our kind, yes, but yeah, the greater. I mean, what's the only real mainstream? I mean, he does The Rookie, right, and then he was on Bones or whatever. No, not Bones. Castle. Castle.
Yeah.
Castle. There we go.
Well, yeah, but then also you forget Firefly, right?
Yeah, but mainly, I get
it. Nathan Fillion, if I could have dropped him in the '80s, he could have been the guy doing Romancing the Stone. He has a very swashbuckling kind of like energy and a lot of stuff. And anybody who's actually seen the stuff he does will get what I mean by that. Y'all kids don't understand about '80s movies. They will make anything and they'll recast the same people because they like typecast characters. And unfortunately, some actors and actresses get lost in the background. I digress because I'm stealing a lot of time onto it. But it was good. I don't know how I feel about Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Like I said, there is the prejudice of like I had Clancy Brown voicing Lex Luthor and how they portrayed Lex Luthor as a very cold and cunning and sometimes, egotistical, envious, but not super emotional. He just wants to kill. He doesn't want to like cry and do some stuff. But Holt is going to give you the best version of Lex Luthor. Because I love Jake Hackman. May you rest in peace, I guess. But remember, in those stories, he was just mad at Superman because Superman did something that made him bald. I do not like Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor whatsoever. And Jesse Eisenberg, I know you're an individual. You're probably not a sane human being. I really despise that they had you play Lex Luthor in that fashion when you probably had the capacity. If you played Lex Luthor bald like he was in The Social Network, I think you have the right Lex Luthor kind of style. If anybody who's seen The Social Network, I don't know if you had or not, of how Eisenberg portrayed David Zuckerberg. But that, like, kind of like, I'm an asshole, but I don't realize I'm an asshole, and I'm not counting that as curse words because it's a disclaimer when they view it. If I say it again, then sure. And that kind of works with Lex in the character construct because this whole thing is supposed to be like, why do you? It's the Hannibal Burgess is like, why are you booing me? I know I might be like he's an alien. We're too trusting of him. We don't know what's going to surprise. I'm doing everything for humanity's interest and my own, of course, because I think I'm superior, but because you guys are sheep and I'm a shepherd. That is Lex Luthor. Maybe there's some other, but that is Lex Luthor right there to me. Yeah. How I read him and how I viewed him. The movie hits a lot of those beats of what I feel each character ought to be. It is well written and intelligent. There's points where they're actually just having poignant dialogue, which I feel is the biggest problem with the Superman movies are lacking because it's punchy. And because it's a movie that's made in, this movie has punchy, but there's actually a time to marinate as these are people and what the principles are. Is it preachy at times? Sure. If you ever read a comic book, a lot of it's preachy because half of it's like voiceover, right?
Yeah.
But in 2025, it works for its benefits because you gotta remember the CGI was very limited. Even 20 years ago with Superman Returns. Crypto is great. The post-scene credits are not like foundational, they're just funny. There's a nice cameo at the end. But there was a moment, and I knew where they were going with it, that in the final scene in the movie, I'm like, I'm probably going to feel a little tear in my eye. And I did. So I thought it was great. I want to see it again. I want to own it. I loved it. James Gunn did a very good job writing, directing it. The casting was great. I can't speak enough on it. Superman, 9 out of 10. Go see it. Go see it 2 times. Take your family.
Oh, boy.
It's not like the whole like recency bias, which is not as movie driven because we do have comic book fatigue. It's just all around good movie. It checks the boxes. I have no real complaints. You know, and I wasn't looking at my watch or anything like that. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, what I want out of this. I don't want a universe. I want the same set of people with the same writer and the same director to give me the next installment of that movie.
As far
and
as
that's how you make it work.
You just want a sequel to this, but you don't want them trying to basically copy and paste the MCU.
Well, they might.
I mean, they probably will, but they're trying to build it up better.
Yeah, but that's what he did. You can do whatever you gotta do if you gotta make money, because the thing is, that's how some of the comic book storylines work. But what worked well with Gunn when he did Guardians 1 and 2 is that same formula. I like what you're writing, I like what you're directing, I like who you're casting, and you just want to make a naturally organic movie into it that maybe has some light interplay on a connected universe. The reason why 3 didn't work is because I think it was just tonally and structurally not set out properly. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but it's been like 2 years, so I'm going to talk about it for 2 seconds. Like, there was something terrible to me about the first 2 movies about Rocket and Peter Quill or Star-Lord's animosity towards each other, and you kept them separate from each other when they had an underlying love and relationship of it. And, you know, it was a Rocket origin story, which is fine, but also High Evolutionary was boring because he was like, I'm a bad guy, but I want to create the perfect thing. But that, not everything sticks to landing. Like, I've been rewatching Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 with Raimi doing this stuff, and sometimes you just don't stick that landing. And that is a very similar equation. But that's what I want here. You made me Superman 1, make me Superman 2. With whomever, I have some theories, but whoever you're building for, with the same people, the same story, with the same flow. It's the reason why, like, those Star Wars movies were just not good on the Disney sequels. There was a lot of reasons. We probably don't know the politics. But that's what I want whenever you give me something that has it. When you have something that could easily churn out sequels. Like, you're not going to get a sequel to Training Day, even though they said they tried to, right? But you're not going to get a sequel out of Training Day. You're not going to get a sequel out of some of the stuff. But this one, that's how I want it. These same group of people, go ahead, make it, going from there. Because now you've gotten trust from me. So, Superman, go see it. 9 out of 10. That was fantastic. I'm going to go see it again. Probably buy it. I don't even buy Blu-rays anymore. Promo code Punk Rocker.
Nice.
And if you've seen it, you understand what I mean by it. You should see it. Like, go see it.
I mean, I'll try. I mean, if not, I'll wait till it comes out in Max and I can watch it there. So,
that's it.
All right, so I'm gonna shout it out to Xbox Game Pass for mine.
There you go.
Okay, because Andrew's unfortunate but fortunate subscription to this thing for a year has basically forced him to try and game and make actual use of it, because why not?
Great?
I mean, it's probably the one thing that we weren't able to do.
So, do you remember Ron Swanson trying to eat a banana from Parks and Rec? Have you ever watched it? That was literally getting Andrew to play any game that he didn't want to get that wasn't an Xbox Series. And oh man, I bet he was steamed in the chat, but I was just like, I got to put it into this.
Oh my.
Yeah. So continue. Sorry.
But not to feel like I feel bad, but I'm like, it's not like the worst thing.
I don't
happen
feel
to
bad.
somebody.
It's the only way you have to eat your veggies, man.
Yeah. So because we've been on this for years now with him. He's on my Nintendo Switch subscription, my family's plan, by the way, so you could actually play online with us, and he has access to all those retro games I've been telling him to play, like Donkey Kong Country and all these things to kind of catch up with us.
And y'all, I'm mean to Andrew in the chat. Like, I love him.
When it comes to the gaming, yes.
I love him. I love him. He's family. I am the meanest son of a bitch. 6 to him sometimes. They're not even like me. I'm just outright, like, I'm straight to the point. I'm like, I'm not going to entertain this nonsense. Because whenever I entertain nonsense, I'll buy something. At the end of the day, I'll buy it, right? Yeah. I'll send you guys some stuff, and I'll say, I'm never going to do it, or I do it. For like 7 weeks. I've been counting.
Longer.
It's been all this other
stuff. It's longer. But yeah. And it was last year as well when the first CB college football game was coming out too. But he's been on trying to get those games, and unfortunately he doesn't have the platforms to do that. And it's already 2025. We're 5 years in to this generation of consoles, and we're about to get ready for the next generation, probably in the next 1.5 years from now. I have a good feeling that we're getting PS6, and I don't even know if Microsoft's going to make a new console, but if they do, it'll be just like
a handheld.
Yeah, that's right. They made a handheld. That's probably where they're going to go with this. But it may be like a small console that is powerful enough, right? They're not going to be out there like trying to rewrite, redo the wheel or whatever, but they're just going to have like, hey, they're going to treat it like as if they're making a DVD or a VCR or something like that. Just like, you want to play these games too? We have our option as well. Heck, they might even license it from Sony, the technology, be like, here's our version of it. It's like a lower power. So we might be getting to some sort of standardization as far as gaming is concerned, which actually might be helpful in the future if you want it to be that way. Because while these are going to be digital downloads, what's the point of having proprietary stuff at this point anymore?
Car dealerships have joined together in times to make things more economical. They have to share the resources, and then it becomes just customer preference. That's really what a car is. No one goes at the end of the day after they've had their first car or a starter car. And usually you pass a starter car because it's mom or dad's car, right? But no one goes and says, look at it, we're very doctrinal here. No one ever goes and says this. You get a brand, you buy a brand. And sometimes it doesn't even write on like the name brand, like Toyota or anything like that. And sometimes you go say Ford sedan or truck or SUV for life.
Yeah.
And that's gaming.
But as an aside anyway, so Andrew got that, and I felt it was necessary that I made his purchase as as valuable as possible in that sense. So I jumped back in again. I have a month subscription that I burnt on my my Xbox or my Microsoft search points or whatever. So I turned one in. I'm like, okay, let me do this. I'll pop in a month or so. And mind you, Charles, I have all these about 1,000 or so games that I've gotten for free over the last 5 years since I've had this. This is my first gaming PC, and I just haven't been able to play some things, or I've had a chance, or I've just been distracted with other stuff. But now, back with Game Pass, back with being able to buy, because I'm not really, unless something new aside from Nintendo, which I'll probably buy stuff day one, like you know me. But on PC, I've been incredibly patient. Incredibly patient might be an understatement. Actually, I outright refuse to spend money on my PC.
If you guys thought I did a long con,
I've done the longest of cons for a lot of stuff.
He's done the longest.
You bought Sifu, and of course you didn't pay full price for it, all that type of stuff. And like, for instance, you gotta buy Sifu, you gotta buy Sifu, you gotta buy Sifu. Lo and behold, last year I got it for free. So for Christmas too, for Christmas, which is even better. And I have it. It's downloaded to this PC. Charles just haven't got a chance.
I was literally just playing it a couple minutes ago until I realized I had to talk more. I was like, let me put it more.
And I probably should play it. Especially, did they announce a sequel or no?
I don't know if they're gonna do a sequel, but like sometimes you don't need a sequel because the thing is, you got side note plug. You have the story, but then you have arenas, which are just little like
I see.
Other stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like just
or whatever.
You got an hour, play an hour.
Yeah.
And those are the perfect games for us at 30 in the Eternal world.
Yeah, and so back here with Xbox Game Pass, and we had an episode where we kind of ran the entire gamut of their collection, and I'm just like, there's a lot of good recent video games in here. Ones that I don't have to do the long con for. Some of them I already have because I did the long con. But some of them are stuff that won't come out for me to get for free for quite a bit. Some of them have come out in like PS5 and stuff like that through PlayStation Plus, like RoboCop. RoboCop's on here now, so I could actually play and finally beat it here instead of waiting to play it on PS5.
It's gonna look perfect on Sonic and Gloria. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, so Shadow's the other one, but Gloria's the main squeeze here actually. I got High on Life is also on PlayStation Plus, on the PS5 at my sister's place, but I've only played like maybe an hour of it, and I feel like
remember when we had more free time that we can play the two games at the same time.
Yeah,
we were very happy. God, COVID.
Yeah, and then they have a bunch of other games, The Ascent here, and obviously I wanted to play it to Andrew's sensibility, so I'm like, hey, let's do Halo. let's do Halo. I've only played 1 in Reach. Let's do 2, 3, 4 ODST, and we can even do Infinite at the end of all this.
See, this is why, like, I feel bad for Andrew, because you're the guy who says, let's hold hands on the date. I'm like, baby, I got some Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. What's up?
Yeah. And
I'm going to make that man uncomfortable with what he's going to play, but damn it, he's going to play one of my suggestions. I swear on my soul.
Yeah, and I've been trying to play to those sensibilities. I'm like, let's start with Halo. Let's start with something easy.
But you have the... Listen, I'll play... If I had it, I'd play with y'all. Like, that is a good way to kill an hour each night, man. Don't play.
And it was. We played last night for the first time. Obviously, I've played it on that PC, so I knew it would run it. Because Andrew's like, oh, it crashed. I'm like, that must have been some glitch or whatever. And lo and behold, he pulled it up. I'm like, okay, thank you. Because I know that computer could play it. It's a 20-year-old game. Of course it should be able to play it. But they've got... I mean, I'm just looking down this list here. Again, Charles, I mean... So RoboCop is coming out here. I played Doom: The Dark Ages. I mean, that's when I actually burnt it doing that, and then I kind of extended it because of Andrew's folly. But Doom: The Dark Ages, got through that. You can play all those Doom games. I downloaded Tony Hawk. I'm going to try and play some of that. Andrew also downloaded it to his PC, so I want to be able to play some Tony Hawk 3 and 4 as well. It's been 20 years since those games came out, too. So it'll be fun to kind of...
old, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So that I'm also really looking forward to playing something around this. I've already have the Tomb Raider games, but having these things on day one, the stuff especially from Microsoft, because that's what they'll have. It's cool. It's a nice feeling to have, and I can see why. I think they're pushing for, hey, let's have all our stuff on everything and just have this as a subscription. Because for a lot of people, this is why I think it was perfect for Andrew, because he's always like, oh man, spending $90 on a game and all that stuff. It's like, look, you can actually spread that out over the course of a year. Not even a year. He doesn't have to do it for a year. He accidentally did it for a year, but he could have just paid for a 3-month subscription. That's how long anybody, like you were talking about the sports games, right? And the life of a sports game.
Yep.
It's what, 5 months, you said?
I got NBA 2K25 for free just on my PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
I have not
I downloaded it too.
An NBA game for 5 years, and I love basketball. I like those games.
Yeah.
Law school, they got me through.
Yeah, they always do
depression
that.
and
2K does that every off season, which is nice of them in actuality. Which is
well,
weird.
they also did that for WWE, so I'm like, well, shit. 7.
Mhm.
I got 2K24 for free. You should have picked it up on your sister's. Like, so you just
I know
see
I
the
did
enjoyment.
not WWE, but because she didn't have the PS5 by then. But I got NBA. I got NBA.
Yeah. Like, I got the show. Did I get the recent show? I got one of the shows. I got NHL. I bought NHL, and they're like, oh, we're doing it for him. I'm like, all right, I know where we're going with this.
Mm-hmm.
Sport games have no viability in existence.
Yeah.
Especially since servers last forever.
And it helps them out. So eventually EA will probably put those college football games on PC. They probably just don't have those. Those take a while to develop the engine because Madden's on there, FIFA's on there.
It's not the same engine. But explaining that to him,
yeah,
his attention span goes and leaves you after 5 seconds. It's not about UCF. I swear to God, he's
WRC is on there. F1 is on there. EA makes all of those games, and those are all yearly sports games. EA has those. So I think eventually we will see college football on there. It's too big of a market to not do it. But for now, look, Space Marine 2, right? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Plague Tale Requiem. We could play A Way Out, right? That'd be a great co-op game to play together. I could maybe actually play It Takes Two for once and finish it. Split Fiction, although those are all those Need for Speed games. I'm down for those all the time. And maybe we can get him onto Balatro, right? Just something, hey, wind it down.
That he doesn't realize that's the best game for him.
It really is. There are so many good games here that I've legitimately, and every Thursday you get free games on PC. Every Thursday, go online, you'll see it. You'll get a bunch of free games from Amazon Prime and Steam and Epic Games. And I've been adamant when I see something that I know he will like. I'm like, Andrew, you have to get this game. You have to. It's just getting him to actually play it. play it.
And so what people don't understand is my relationship and dynamic with Andrew is that Andrew would tune me out because sometimes I'll be big brother to him, and Francis will be more like good cop, bad cop sometimes. So for Andrew to be convinced, I have to say, and then Francisco needs to affirm me on it.
Yeah.
And then he'll do it. Then he'll do it because he was gonna go off the college thing. He went on like one tirade. We love you, Andrew. And I'm like saying all my stuff. You know me, I'm Mr. Conman. And I understand his financial sensibilities because here's the truth: in about 3 years, I'm gonna stop buying games to train them. I'm just gonna do subscription services. But the way I do a lot already, and my role's about to hit something new. Or I'll still be able to game, but I'll just go from there. So everything's the right approach is just to get you there.
Yeah.
So I actually understand because Andrew also has hobbies. I don't. I work out. That's it, man.
Yeah, that's another thing that even I struggle with. Andrew's other thing. I mean, obviously the college football stuff with that. I mean, he's been doing that for like
that's legitimate.
10 years, right? He's legitimately a member of the media in that sense.
Guys, he's a brilliant human being.
Yeah, he's a member of the media. He does panels for disability stuff. Like he speaks at conferences. I don't know if y'all know this, but the man he's a Renaissance man, and you don't even realize it.
Forget Elon Musk, who just had money to be a Renaissance man. This man is the homegrown.
Yeah, I mean, he's spoken to like the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office and things like that. I mean, he's done some things, and
he will also cry if he ever heard the praises of this episode. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
Well, I mean, maybe, but he doesn't even read our.
You gotta tell people they matter.
Yeah.
Did I not say that?
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
we've had this, and so it's just something that, like, me and Charles, obviously, our friendship grew over this, and obviously the sports stuff came kind of sort of after that.
We're also psychopaths.
True. Yeah. Our careers.
I've seen him go crazy. It's great.
Yeah, but but it's just something that, hey man, we want to connect with you with this, and like it's just one thing. I mean, we got him to do Splatoon.
He lives far.
We got him to do Splatoon. We got him to do Splatoon,
and he's actually very good.
Yeah, he actually did improve, and he at the beginning was like, "I'm sorry." He wanted to stop playing because he felt like he was embarrassed. I'm like, dude, it's Splatoon. We're not playing. We're not pro gamers here, even though I think we could go if we had the chance.
Don't give me that dream.
I mean, man,
Francisco and I used to wait to play the Japanese.
Dear Lord, man, I legitimately think. I mean, people have seen my TikToks. I'm like, dude, how do you do what you do? I know I'm legitimately good at this game. It's the only game I've ever been really legitimately good. Like, man, I could take down anybody. And just our play styles kind of complement each other now, especially me and you.
It's a very long segment to remember, or monster, but I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. So Xbox Game Pass, I think it's great. Promo code DamnFreeHolis. Play more with us, Andrew. All right, I wanted this to be the end of this to be a wrestling recap because we've kind of held it off since we've come back, and it's been half a year. We kind of treat it as a mid-year review, right, of wrestling so far. You always do a year-end review anyways, or superlatives and all that type of stuff. So we can kind of assess because I mean you just watched the pay-per-view last weekend, right? For AEW, the only one that you paid for them a year, and you have some thoughts on that. I know that because I saw the chats. And I saw the posts that you were.
I was also drunk, so like.
Yeah, well, which makes it better actually. You spent money. You were drunk and you were upset at it at the same time, which brings about gold. So we're gonna head to the cage. It's gonna be interesting. I have some questions because there's been a lot of things that have happened since January. Because you didn't even do your Big Beefy Wrestling review. A lot of stuff didn't happen.
Because I've just been so angry.
yeah, you have been.
All right, let me do it. Welcome everybody to the return of your weekly Truplex, The Cage with Charles, Suspender Wrestling. It's not fake. It's a scripted fight. It's a song and dance. It's better would be the holy hell
I'm
each
gonna
other.
Pull out a calendar of like major
building their legacies.
Yeah, major pay-per-views and stuff that came out.
That's perfect. Building their legacies, being the holy hell each other, chasing championships, and just trying to satisfy me as a viewer. Vince McMahon has not had his hand into it, but it feels like Vince has been holding his hand on some of the stuff at WWE. You heard me mention on right before my very like shaky intro, because it's been a minute, that I was drunk. I don't drink a lot now anymore, right? It's when I do the wrestling, it's that I'm with a group of people over a chat, and that's my kind of way to unwind. And I don't do it.
You have your you have your wrestling bros and people that that love this stuff.
Yeah, and it's great. My paralegal loves it, and now soon he will be my buddy. You know, as I head out to green pastures, I'm gonna go jump ship from WWE AEW or AEW WWE, depending how you want to view it. I'm gonna go lead from being a Dean Ambrose to a John Moxley. There you go. That is the personification of what you're gonna go from, right? So it's fun, and I don't get blackout drunk anymore, even though Derek did get me hungover on SummerSlam a year ago. But it's just a good time. It's a good way to engage into it. Y'all pay like $20 for a beer to see, Aaron Boone manage. I don't. I just, go buy myself my Mike's Hard Lemonades because we're going to the canned drinks. Very good for you. Better than what I used to do because, your boy can go. When the peppers be peppaing, it all comes out, right? So how do you want to do this?
Okay,
because
so
I can talk about the recent pay-per-views and I can talk about what pissed me off.
Let's see.
So I'll give you this. AEW right now, thumbs up. WWE was trending thumbs down, coming back up. There was so much wrestling. There was All In Texas for AEW, and then Saturday. That was Saturday. Starting
so
at 3,
I'm
and
gonna
then Saturday was main event.
I'm gonna run the gamut of.
Thank God. I have no structure for this because I knew it was coming. I was avoiding it.
Yeah, but I know you'll be able to kind of rattle some things off as we go along here. So I've got I'll start with WWE's pay-per-view major events chronologically since January. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna say good or bad. That's it. That's all.
Okay. So and I'll
because
name
we're
it
in July,
if you didn't watch her, or if you just kind of tangentially just kind of surface level stuff.
Don't worry.
We have and this is WWE. Some of it's NXT as well. So we can kind of go through that. We had New Year's Evil on January 7th. I think we did talk about that, though, because we were out of the show
we did.
around mid-January.
I think I mentioned Oba Femi, who I love on NXT. And I think he was champion at that time. He either got crowned or he was defending.
But we didn't talk about the Royal Rumble. So that was on February 1st of this year at Lucas Oil in Indianapolis.
All right, so Jey Uso won the men's, Charlotte won the women's. I was unhappy with everything, and I think I had a birthday because it was February 1st, so it was a birthday event that Saturday, and everybody told me like, "Oh, buddy," and I was like, "Don't do that." So Charlotte winning, I was like, okay, I guess it makes sense. It's fine. They weren't sure, so you had to put the right hand. And then the last two was Jey Uso and Logan Paul, and they're like, it's just gonna piss you off. And I felt like Sophie's choice of which child do I want to have murdered, and I'm like, all right, if it's Jey Uso, it made no sense because he literally had a title shot against Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event the week prior or 10 days prior. But Logan Paul is a decent wrestler. Sorry, Ibu I think he's on Wrestling Purist. Follow him on Twitter. I enjoy him. Who thinks he doesn't change character. Sometimes you just got to have that guy in there. But I don't really ever want him holding a title. So I'm like, the Royal Rumble, him getting me, I'm like, I got scared. And I'm like, no. And then Jey was the one, I'm like, but he just if Jey did not go against Gunther and then lose the Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event, because remember, he won the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania, and I knew he was going to beat Gunther at WrestleMania because of everything. I was just like, but por qué? Why? And I was just like, I was sitting there, I was deflated because I like Jey Uso. I was ready to crown him against Roman SummerSlam 3 years ago or 2 years ago, but I was like, the way they built into it, so no bueno. Pay-per-view, no bueno. No bueno. There was other matches that don't need to go member, but like no bueno.
Okay. So I'm going through this guy's blog here, which is I'm gonna put it up on the screen, and he's got some thoughts on it. I'm kind of reading through it as far as when he's like Jey Uso won. He was also surprised. He's surprised Jey Uso won.
I just want John Cena to win to go against Gunther and have Gunther at Mania.
Yeah, and then he wrote that. Yeah, he just saw. Yeah, I don't think I just saw it last week, the week before with Gunther and Uso rematch. So there you go. Yeah. So that was
wrestling needs to be predictable sometimes.
Yeah, so we got WWE Vengeance Day.
Kind of remember it, don't remember it.
Yeah, okay, so that happened in DC at, I don't know which arena.
That was NXT.
Okay. Yeah, WWE NXT Vengeance Day, sorry. Okay, then Elimination Chamber up in Toronto, where the Blue Jays play.
John Cena wins it, and he turns heel with The Rock and Travis Scott there, if I had to hear Fiend for the umpteenth time. But it makes no sense because Cena won. My theory was like, all right, have Punk win so you get Punk Cody, but Cena sells his soul to Rock and then makes it triple threat because he's chasing that 17 against Cena's last year. And it just has not been a good heel turn. I don't even remember who won the women's. It was Rhea, right? Yeah, because she had.
Let's see. I got it here. Let's see. So let's see. We had starting the match would be. Let's see. We had 4 pods, right?
Yeah.
Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Bayley, and Bianca Belair.
I think Bianca won.
Bianca Belair won. Yes.
Yeah, fan. I love Bianca. You know I love Bianca. I saw her live in NXT on the road shows before she got the big time.
Gooning.
Oh yeah. Well, just in general, I love her and Montez. Her husband's handsome as fuck, dude.
And then we had Tiffany
Stratton.
Yes. Versus gosh darn it. I just had
Nia
this.
Jax.
I just had it open. I accidentally swiped it away. Here we go. Tiffany, Trish Stratus. Tiffany
there's a tag match.
Yeah, and Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae.
Love Candice, but not a good match.
Trish and Tiffany won by pinfall. And then you had the unsanctioned match. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
That was good, overrated, but very good. Oh, the Royal Rumble match with Cody and Owens in a ladder match is in my top 10 for the year for WWE. Remember, I don't do a top 10. I don't do a top 10 combined for both sides or whatever. But yeah, the Owens also has a neck injury, so he might have to be done. Adam Cole might have to be done. This has been horrible for the cage. That's why I don't want to mention it. But yeah, that was a good match with him and Sammy.
And then men's number 1 contenders elimination chamber match: CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre versus John Cena versus Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest.
Yeah, we all talked and addressed that. But yeah.
Yeah, and then you had a promo segment with Cody Rhodes and The Rock.
Yeah.
All right. Next, we're going down here. WWE NXT Roadblock from MSG. Then the Hall of Fame ceremony. Don't know who got in. That's you.
I don't even remember. Like, I'm sure I'll know, but the brain's not kind of going in there. Triple H went in. That's right.
WWE Stand and Deliver NXT.
Yeah. Yes, that was good. I remember bits of it. I think it was much better than WrestleMania.
Vegas Golden Knights. Yep. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
hold on. Let me get the flowers there because Stand Delivers there.
I got it here. So it was Countdown to Stand and Deliver pre-show. Number 1 contender fatal 4-way elimination match: Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jada versus Fatal Influence versus Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan.
I met him. Yeah. And a lot of people got released too. I'm gonna run it down here a little bit to kind of just give you the instantaneous stuff. Mm-hmm. So first off, I miss you, Jakara Jackson. They got rid of her. I'm just saying. Ricky Saints, Davida, Ethan Page. That was fun. Hank and Tank beat Fraxium. An excellent match. Fraxium got called up. Sol Ruka defeated Izzy, Dame, Kalani, Jordan, Lola, Vice, Thea, Hale, and Zaria in the ladder match. That was fantastic. Darkseid versus the Angel family. That was okay. Stacks betrayed him. Seven of Vicara beat Julia, Jada Parker, and Jordan Grace to retain a women's championship. Seven of Vicara, the reason why Chile is the greatest country. I'm part Chilean, just saying. I'm a little bit of everything. I'm a petri dish, and you know, go from there. And Open Femi beat Javon Evans, and then Trickle was a good match. All that was solid. All those matches were solid. Big thumbs up for Charles.
All right. Okay, going down here, WWE Slammy Awards. Let me see. And then WrestleMania from Allegiant Stadium where the Raiders play. Yeah.
Let me give you backstory on night one. Night one, go to Derek's, and I was like, all right, we're not gonna do this on SummerSlam like SummerSlam a year ago, right? I got Publix fried chicken. I got popcorn chicken. He got pizza. There was a bunch of people over. And this time I did not bring Hennessy because, yeah, that man that killed it. How about together at SummerSlam last year? How my liver is strengthened, right? But I forgot. I bought tequila. I bought Padrinos, right? And then he had Grey Goose, and there was a bunch of people, and it was a good time. And night one was just absolutely awful for the majority of it, except for Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight and the men's triple threat match. That was Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk. And that was stellar. I have to rewatch it properly sober to decide it. But this is my problem.
Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. You know it was coming.
I know
all those other matches did not make me happy. But here's the problem. What I need you guys to understand something. Like, you know how some people drink and they're very like aggressive or stuff like that, right? And then some people drink and they're like lusty and stuff like that. Understandable, but just say respectfully, right? When I drink, I remember I actually make lawyer money. Instead, I act like I'm poor. Like you guys know me, man. You know, aside from like going out and stuff like that, I'm like, all right. And going out to eat, I always will spend money on food. I gotta eat, right? If I don't eat, I die. That's my mindset. When he comes out, the Charlo, especially, and I told Derek and his woman, Candy, I love you, Candy, fantastic. And I'm like, I told them straight to the face. I go, I need y'all to take away my phone because this started at like 4 p.m. And I got home safely. Nothing was bad. I know how to stop because I stopped, right? And I eat a lot. I eat a lot, man. Part of the reason why I'm like going out to eat, so I'll send you photos of where I go to eat and stuff like that. If I have drinks, is because like as an attorney, I can't have like bad stuff happen to me. It only takes like one F up, so I always fight it. I will spend money. If you guys recall, there was one time where I got drunk and I bought 3 pop figurines: a Goku, a Tensei, Tenya, I can't speak right now. Lord Tenyan from Demon Slayer, favorite character. I can't say his last name right now because I can never say half the name right. And then Gohan, Beast Awakened. Well, WWE shop is expensive. I think I even put it in our chat, guys. I swear to God, I'm gonna buy something expensive. I just know it. Before the reckoning happened, and I told Derek Kenny, y'all didn't take my phone by like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I love Jacob Fatu. He's all gas, no brakes. He was a mentality. I am not going to be litigating, so I have to change that mentality. I don't know what to do. I saw his shirt. Sober. I was like, do not buy this. Do you know those a-holes did not take my phone? I spent $48 on a wrestling shirt because that night one was so bad aside from the triple threat and his match with LA Knight that I'm like, you know what? He gave me the really above average match of the night, the first above average night. I'm gonna buy his shirt. That's literally what I said. And you know how some people, if they've been drinking, they can't even text or anything. I'm like, I have corrective vision when I've been drinking, right? I know what I'm texting, typing, and everything like that. I was able to put in my login information. I paid for a $48 shirt, and I forgot to use a goddamn promo code 9 to get at least like some discount onto it. I raw dogged it.
Damn, isn't the WWE shop run by fanatics? They have promo codes all the time.
Well, you know what the promo code was? Tequila.
No,
because
I was the opposite of Charles saying on that day.
Oh yeah, Charlo forgets that I'm like relatively cheap, so I spent $40 a shirt. So that was night 1. Night 2, superior for the majority. Almost every match, almost being the operative word for even the average match. But the women's triple threat, fantastic match. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and I'm doing like 3 things at once. And then Bianca Belair was just stellar. It was great. That triple threat match, like, get them the flowers. Evolution was just happening this weekend. You get more women wrestling out there. And then I got the Cody Rhodes John Cena match. I'm like, wow, to quote The Rock and his little like meme, it was the biggest piece of dog shit I've ever seen. It was just structured so bad. Everything was bad about it. I remember complaining to you guys about it. I was super unhappy. It almost took it. You always remember the finish, right? And that goes to pay-per-views as well of what that main event is. And Cena's obviously preserving his body because he's going to be 50 and he wants to get his Hollywood roles. And they're going to go against each other again at SummerSlam this year. I'm like, why? It's like going back to a toxic ex, man. That is in a polyamorous relationships or wants that and ethical non-monogamy. You can say it. And you just want like a straight-laced relationship. Like, this is terrible. That was WrestleMania for me.
I remember night 1 when and I sent you back a message. Is this your king? This is your king.
Yeah.
When Gunther tapped out, by the way.
Gunther tapped out, yeah, and it made no sense because like it wasn't even working next for the majority of the match. And I was so upset. They just want to copy and paste him versus Ilya Dragunov, the match of the year I gave that year, like 4 years ago, at NXT Takeover for the UK Championship. If I had to make you as a non-viewer watch wrestling, that's the match I show. I hate everything so much right now, but it's okay. All is right in the world. Because why? Gunther won it back like a month or 2 months ago. I don't understand Hunter so much. Sorry.
Let's see. WWE Backlash from Enterprise Center where the Blues play. Let's see.
All right, let me take a peek at it.
Let me see here. I'm gonna look this up.
I liked it. All right, I remember I liked it in spurts. It was just kind of like, I don't want to say it was a throwaway pay-per-view, but there was things about it that was enjoyable. So thumbs up.
Okay. Let's see. WWE NXT Battleground from
I know I watched it, but
WWE Worlds Collide with AAA
that was
and
okay.
NXT.
I didn't really watch it fully, so I can't comment
from-
on it. I don't always watch every pay-per-view, guys.
Yeah. Money in the Bank.
Okay, so Money in the Bank, which was just a month ago or so.
LA, where the Rams and whoever play Chargers.
Yeah, it was.
Oh
fine.
no, Into
I
It.
was
No,
fine.
no, that's where the Clippers play. There we go.
Yeah, it was fine. I thought Punk and Cena was fun. I thought both winners of the Money in the Bank was well deserved, even though Seth could have lived by the issue against LA Knight and crown him. But yeah, thumbs up.
All right.
And then SummerSlam soon.
WWE Night of Champions from Saudi Arabia around a certain time where we didn't think they might come back.
I was just like, all my favorite wrestlers are gonna die. That's what I was saying. That was anxiety ridden, man. Like, because we like to think that they have a say, but ain't nobody really have a say coming into it. And I misquoted. It wasn't John Cena and CM Punk at Money in the Bank. It was John Cena and Randy Orton, I believe so, right? It was something. But the thing is that I was like, but it also had like the King in the Ring. And I'm like, I know where it was taking me with like, obviously it was going to lead to Cody winning and stuff like that. But I was still like, it was Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso defeated John Cena and Logan Paul in the Money in the Bank one. Yeah, didn't care about that. I was probably beyond at that point. But Night of Champions was the most recent one I watched. And like, I thought Cody Randy was fine, like a 3. Ray and Raquel was fun. Sammy versus Karrion Kross, it was there. It was a match. It was fine, and that's okay. Solo Sikoa versus Fatu was fun enough. Jade Cargill for Asuka, yeah. And then John Cena versus CM Punk was fun. But here's my problem with these Hunter pay-per-views. You gotta put tag teams on there, brother. There's no reason why Street Profits had like a 3-month run and they didn't get a chance to show it on a pay-per-view with longer match times. And the same thing goes for whatever they were doing the World Tag Teams, a New Day, now it's Judgment Day there. And this is problems, man. Remember that comment I made earlier about the HJs? I won't say it again as a professional.
Yeah.
I also forgot like the example that I used it on because that's how my brain goes half the time.
All-Star Game.
It's like
or something.
All-Star Game. Thank you.
Yeah.
Brothers, my brain sometimes is like a lightning bolt, and sometimes there's never a single lightning bolt. There's like 7 bolts that come up and they go to all different forks. But like, you gotta use your talent more, because what I love about AEW, which I hate about WWE, because I did buy the pay-per-view right for the recent one. And look, I love Twitter because people would like, I think his name's like AX Kango or something like that. I'm not trying to out you guys. I'm sorry. They'll just post like full matches of stuff from the pay-per-view, so that's how I get to watch certain things when I don't buy them. Because usually I'm on the money when I buy. I'm like a 50-50 run when I like right now I'm batting 500, right? But like, you don't have to wait 20 minutes to the next match like WWE does. I'm like, come on, you gotta do me something. I understand you're a big promotion, TKO, just like to spin the eye of anybody's buy, because you have to. If you're, man, I would hate to be a UFC fighter, because all this stuff invested for a boring ass, 2-minute match. But I need more. Whereas AEW is just like, oh hey, we have like 10 matches on the card, and you're only gonna get like a 5-minute bathroom break about the entire. But they appreciate it for that. But WWE save it right now without going through champions. I got next week for that. It's getting back some steam, but man, it was a guy driving to the lane trying to get a dunk, and then the dunk happens, but the ball flings out of the rim, which is the most embarrassing thing to not play ball. I'm not tall enough, but we've seen guys who do it. You see in the big leagues. Anybody tries to dunk and they actually get to the rim, and they're either not tall enough or the ball just hits the wrong corner of the rim, and that dunk ain't happening. You just got to step in your card, man. But luckily, with that is like your teammate got the rebound, so you can still get the score at some point. That's where we're at right now. With that.
All right. So that was Night of Champions. NXT Great American Bash.
Didn't watch it. Everything over the weekend I didn't watch.
Yeah. So, and then,
Evolution I did.
Evolution from
Which I gotta
Atlanta,
watch
where the Hawks play. WWE Evolution. And then, that's where we're at up to here with WWE. SummerSlam is the next big one. Out
2 weeks
in,
from now. I don't have a moment to breathe.
Yeah, it's so out at.
It's a 2-night event this time.
It's in New Jersey, where the Mets, or not the Mets, the MetLife, or the Jets and the Giants play. And then we have.
I get to tell you about that dilemma next week on the Cage. I'll tell you about the dilemma.
AEW and Ring of Honor pay-per-views. I'll just kind of run the gamut here. They had Fight for the Fallen.
So I didn't watch anything, so I can't speak to it.
Maximum Carnage, Homecoming, Grand Slam out in Australia, Revolution back in LA.
I know Revolution was good.
Dynasty out in Philly, Playoff Palooza.
That's just their TV.
New Orleans Beach Break in Illinois. Double or Nothing from Glendale. Fighter Fest in Denver. And then, let's see, Summer Blockbuster in Portland. Grand Slam in Mexico. Let's see, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, Arlington, Texas. And then you had All In out in Globe Life, where the Rangers play.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me take this a little bit.
You watched.
So AEW, what I watched was All In, but like my discovery, AEW, aside from Moxley being your world champion at that time because of what the story they're kind of convey, I've been satisfied with watching what I've seen, and I do actually watch Dynamite more lately than I don't even watch SmackDowns on Friday. The fuck you mean I'm gonna watch wrestling on a Friday? I just got work. I'm gonna go get food. I'm gonna go play video games. 11. That is my Friday night. Sometimes it's Platoon. Sometimes it's Madden. Sometimes it's all these stories that I have to cut through the backlog. Depends if I'm awake, man, because sometimes I'm tired. But I ain't watching wrestling on Friday, brother. It ain't happening. Raw, it's on Netflix now, because I think it switched over right before we started. Maybe I'll watch it, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get to the pay-per-views. It's how I save time, not make wrestling my life. Kind of liberating, to be honest with you. But Dynamite's on Wednesdays. It just happened now. And I will review on that. I do watch it twice a month, if that's fair. You never watch the go-home shows for any pay-per-view. That's my theory, because nothing crazy happens unless it's a title match that's not going to be on the pay-per-view. Then you just watch it, right? And that's my theory for everything. But I like where they're going for the trajectory for most stuff. I won't talk about state of affairs and championships. I'm just going to talk about the experience. So, I ordered it from Prime. And if you remember last time I ordered it, I was snake bitten, because for whatever reason Prime delayed the processing until the next day, so I can't even watch the paper. So I had to call Amazon as the thing started. This is 2 years ago, and then I had that refunded, and I went to Bleacher Report. But they said it got better, right? Because Prime is now streaming. I'm like, all right, do I go Max or Prime? I got paid $50 the other way. But Prime was doing a $10 video credit. I'm like, I'll just rent something new, like Baby Superman when it comes out, right? We're gonna do that. That perfect for me. So I got it, and I'm gonna put Prime on a thumbs up here. Getting everything at a 4K or 1080p resolution, depending on what TV you have on a streaming service, is so good, because you don't have to do this compromising stuff like you do with Netflix. And I actually don't hate paying for Netflix now that I got wrestling in there. Actually, it just justifies my reasoning, because I do think they're going to get the library for WWE and all that they have at some point. But I let my dad use it, mom use it, family, whatever. But you always have to play with the filtering on how you want to do video streaming. But they just give you straight 4K. So I watched it. It was 5 hours of wrestling. So that's 5 hours of drinking. And I did not drink the whole time, kids. This was the plan. I'm like, Mike's Hard Lemonade, 0 sugar, because we ain't putting carbs in my 35, going to be 36-year-old body. And then Mantua, Diplomatico rum, fantastic, but smaller cups coming into it. The Pepe was Pepe. The real Hispanic was coming out. And I feel like Andrew, who doesn't really tolerate drinking, is hilarious, because he's nonverbal half the time, and then at the very end he'll be like, "Who won, Charles?" Because for Andrew, he likes to get sort of stuff, and I'm like, "All right, man," because I think Andrew's a troll sometimes. I love it, because he knows what will set me off. Because I remember last year with WWE or whatever, when Cody won, he was "Good that." It was good that Cody won, and I'm emotional. I'm video recording. I'm doing some stuff. I'm like, "Oh my God, why is this going on?" And for Francisco, I think he just likes the unhinged stuff that I say.
I mean, I kind of just wish we could just set a webcam in front of you, and you could just be our Frank, whatever his name is.
Right. Well, AEW does not have me go and say, "Come on." Yeah. I will say that maybe only a few times. WWE has been like, "Well, I'm not going to watch this." WWE has been like, "If they do this, I'm just done." I'll give you a very good example: The Fiend losing to Goldberg, who just retired. You had a good match on the preview, but The Fiend losing Goldberg, no longer being champion. I'm like, what? And I'll just take months off, because I was Vince McMahon. He hated his audience.
he made a mockery. It's what billionaires do, where they think you support them, and there's the one thing that pisses you off. They say you have no choice but to come back to me. That's why I'm very glad AEW and other wrestling promotion exists, not as an alternative, but as part of the buffet. That's how I view wrestling. What's the rule, Francisco? We don't pick the promotion, we pick the wrestlers. Wrestling itself should be a buffet. You get a little bit of steak, you get a little bit of pork, you get a little chicken, you get a little fish, even though I wouldn't eat fish at a buffet unless it's like maybe fried shrimp. I don't know. I just have questions, right? What are you getting it from? Is it Gulf or Atlantic? I digress. But, that's why I view wrestling. How do you like your wrestling, right? So pre-show stuff I won't talk about. They were okay. Ops, which is Katsuri Shibata, Powerhouse Ops, Samoa Joe defended Trios Championship against Death Riders of Claudio, Wheeler, and Gabe Kidd. It was fine. It was okay. It was like a primer. It had its story purposes fine. MJF won the Casino Gauntlet. The Casino Gauntlet is kind of like the reverse Royal Rumble. Instead of being like the last man in the ring, what happens is you have all these entrants come in, and whoever gets the pinfall as the entrants keep entering gets the win. So sometimes the idea is starting first is good or second is good, because you could be like I'll give you an example, number 15, and you don't show up because someone already got pinned beforehand, so you don't get your chance. It's a neat idea. I kind of like it. They should utilize it. So that match was fine. Went like 35 minutes. Everybody got remember with pay-per-views, you're also supposed to display the talent that you have. So the more, the merrier, right? Fatal 4-way match. Adam Cole, who I love, Adam Cole Bebe. I've mentioned before. I have a shirt of his. He's had some injuries, right? Concussions and things like that. Not my place to speculate. I don't know anything. I'm not his buddy. I'm not anything like that. I just like him. I think I liked him on The Party, when he was with WWE, and then we left a little bit. He's a gamer. He loves Halo. He loves Witcher. He's one of the stuff. I like his style. I like his approach. I liked him in NXT. I've seen him live. I have those videos when he was at AEW. I'm like, good for him. And he's had a couple concussions. So he was TNT champion. He won that at Dynasty, I believe. So that's the stuff that you missed out. And he had to vacate the title that day because he wasn't very well. And then the rumor was that he had like a severe concussion. So he doesn't know what's going to go on, kind of thing with his career. So it's like just terrible injuries are going on. So they had to do a fatal 4-way where Dustin Rhodes, Cody Rhodes' is older brother, the guy who used to be Goldust, or the natural Dustin Rhodes over in WCW all those years ago. He won. He's been with AEW for 6 years. He won his first single title there, even though he has all these titles in Ring of Honor. Good for him. Sometimes you need a feel-good moment, even though it made sense because Kyle Fletcher was there, but he can have that chance. Tag team match. So those matches was like a primer. And I'm like, all right, I need several other matches to really deliver at this point to justify the 50. Because like paying full price for a game almost, right? So you got Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. And it was one of those matches. That's the reason why I paid the 50, because I was invested in the story, because I've been watching. It did not hit, man. I know what I saw was a 3. A 3 is fine if you go on, and ratings are just whatever. I'm just telling you how I feel about it, because I can't put in like a tier. I can't give it a letter grade, right? Ratings with a numerical sense makes sense. 3 out of 5 star ratings, whatever you want to call it. I never understand how people got 5 stars when 4 stars was also good. You understand how the evolution of things go, but I was like, I don't know, man. It's kind of getting me, but something felt amiss to me. There was good sequences. There was cool sequences. And I don't know if it's not because of the fact that I just wanted the Young Bucks to win. The whole thing was like a Swerve and Ospreay win, then they become like EVPs, and the Young Bucks lose that title, executive vice presidents. Or if the Young Bucks win, that Swerve and Ospreay, and I love both those two. You've heard me talk about them. If their T-shirts were better, I would buy them. Thankfully, I wasn't that drunk, or I just knew never buy from that shop. But maybe I wanted the other side to go on, but it didn't work for me. Like, it was fine. It was 3. It was good. It was good, entertaining wrestling. I want people who only watch WWE to watch this stuff. Women's Casino Gauntlet, Athena won. Right person to win. It was good. I like Athena. She's only been in Ring of Honor for a while, and now it's time for her to come pop in. Next match was a 3-way tag team match. Hurt Syndicate versus Speedball, Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, who are called Jet Speed, and the Patriarchy, which is Christian Cage. Yeah, that Christian from like 25 years ago that I was watching, and Nick Wayne. It was a match. I don't remember much for many reasons. And the Hurt Syndicate retained, but Nick Wayne turned on Christian Cage, and Edge, or it's not Edge anymore, but Adam Copeland came out to save Christian, said, go find yourself, said, go fuck yourself. His quotes, I'm not counting as a curse word because that's really low back. Whatever, it was fine. Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. Another reason why, because even though I wasn't great, the Sasha Banks experience when Mercedes was there, and you got to treat it as their character, their brand, and also just what the names are now. I don't really call Moxley Dean Ambrose, right? Vice versa. I felt like she never could get an opportunity with Vince McMahon because Vince just did a lot of stuff. And then she went to go make her own brand name. She was putting on good matches. The character work is really just and more accelerated, or maybe her version of what she had as the CEO, not the CEO, but the boss in WWE. Now she's a CEO. But her and Tony put on a match, man. It was great. And then Tony won. The right person won because Mercedes in the background, because we've been gone for so long, was collecting titles out of the Yin Gang. She had like 6 belts from. She had the TBS Championship, but then she had other promotion titles because Tony Khan would play ball and let them do some independent work. And she was gunning for the Women's World Championship from Tony. And Tony, even though she's like a 4 or 5-time champion, each one's a different character iteration. She reminds me so much of like Mick Foley with the character stuff, if you think about it, where she'll have, the radical Tony Storm, the typical Tony Storm when she was with whatever the Outcasts when she came to AEW, and then now timeless Tony Storm, all these different variations of how she plays off. But the match was good, solid match, big fan. Another match that I put money on that just didn't hit. It just didn't hit. It didn't hit, and I love both guys. Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega for the International Championship, Continental Championship to be like a unified champion. It's weird. I don't want to explain all that stuff. They have history in New Japan. They have a great set of 4 matches that have happened in the past. I've watched all of them, and this one didn't hit. And I don't know if it's because the ending was flat for me or not. I know what I watched was a 4, Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, I know it was a 4. 4 is great. Really, anything above like a 2.75 is great to me because it's got to be worth the time I lose, right? Of doing other stuff. That's how I view wrestling as I get older. But I'm not going to remember it. I had to rewatch it for many reasons, but it was one of those things like I can't replay back to. I'm like, huh? And then I looked at the finish like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, but whatever. And it disappointed. And then we got to the main event, which woke me up, which was Hangman Adam Page versus Jon Moxley. So Moxley's been holding for like 8 months hostage the AEW Championship. They haven't showed the title. It was in a briefcase. He said he was going to kill AEW, something like that. Hangman, who y'all know I love, I always seem to spend money on the man for his pay-per-view matches. He gave me match of the year with him and Swerve in that Texas Death Match itself. They drank blood. It was crazy. Hangman went from being the golden child, chosen one for the face of the franchise, winning the championship, losing to CM Punk, wrongly, and then having a feud with Swerve, leading matches, and from being a babyface turning heel, burned down Swerve's house. That match last all in all out. It was great. They're just both terrorizing each other. He went to go help out Swerve when he was going against Mox and Dynasty, but he didn't pull the trigger. And then he had a conversation with Swerve itself. It was death match. It was bloody. It was nasty. Swerve came out to help Mox at the end, or help out Hangman at the end. Hangman beats Mox 1-3, and now he's your champion. And him and MJF are having to continue his story. And Charles is happy. You got to leave him happy. You got to remember what, Francisco? The finish. And that includes what? The main event. So it's on the up and up. Where we go now, and that's the problem with wrestling. Wrestling as a entertainment and as a sport, you don't have to worry about what you've done for me lately, right? You got the diehards. There's always a Rockies fan out there, right? Yeah. But wrestling, when it comes to the entertainment aspect, I'm not talking about sports, I'm talking about entertainment, making me view and buy your pay-per-views. It's like, what have you done for me lately? So even though we have this great feel-good moment, what are we going to build off of it? And so once again, this is how I go, because I've only bought 4 or 5 WWE or AEW pay-per-views, and I really wish being a Max subscriber got me a discount, because $50 is just too much. I don't have anybody who's going to split that with me, right? I think I liked it to where I justify the purchase. I know Full Gear, the first one that I ever purchased, which Hangman won the title, worth it. There was a lot of good matches there. Forbidden Door, not so much.
That's the next one out in London.
Well, I hate the Forbidden Door concept because, I'm not a big fan of Forbidden Door because you have an open licensing cross-branding with CMLL and New Japan, and you own Ring of Honor. So what are we doing here that's really Forbidden Door? You're not giving me dream matches anymore, right, when you allow the proliferation of it. So the same concept like Worlds Collide, what they're doing over in WWE land, because they have that joint thing because WWE bought AAA, forgot to mention that, happened on WrestleMania. That's their, other Lucha Libre affiliate. CML is the other one, Consejo. I'll go into the background history on that stuff at some point. Consejo Mundo Lucha Libre. That's CMLL. You see, I actually don't remember what the AAA stands for. I'm not that Hispanic yet. Sorry, I try. You just have to get me on the right moment when the spirit comes out. Yeah, Guacamele comes in, right? But I don't care about the Forbidden Door like that stuff. But I did buy that one Forbidden Door was supposed to be Danielson and Okada, and those matches weren't hitting. I know I watched the other Full Gear when it was but Hangman versus Swerve. That was great, but I didn't care for the JYMJF match, and some of the matches are bad.
I think this one was worth the 50 because two of the three main events delivered. But man, you lost some steam for me because the other matches on there just felt like a primer. Because anytime and WWE is guilty of this 100%. So people who think I do troubleism, no. WWE is guilty of putting on pay-per-view matches. I'm like, I could just watch this on Raw or SmackDown, dude. What the fuck are we doing here? 12. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. You lose your time. What are we doing here? The 3 matches or 4 matches I'm talking about just felt like primers. But I appreciate AEW for giving me a total, not counting the pre-show, because I can count, 8 matches within like 5 hours. Thank you. Because that makes it bang for the buck a little bit. It's like watching 2 movies back to back. I'm like, okay, I could work with it because that's really how much it costs to go see things in theaters. So that's where we're at. For wrestling, that's all I got for you. I'm going to give you the state of affairs on the championship runs for the next show or the next cage because I really stole it here, but we had to catch up on someone, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point of this that I thought about, but yeah.
Like, Charles still loves wrestling, but, like, WWE, I have not really been invested aside from what Twitter is, which is different than where we were a year ago. And that's how you have to look into 6 months or a year in review. We're like, yeah, I'm excited. But however, I'll leave you with this for WWE, there's hope. SummerSlam looks good. Naomi, Io, and Rhea for the Women's Championship in a triple threat. You're going to have CM Punk versus Gunther, who should have been going against originally for the title. You're going to get Cody versus John, and you guys know you dropped the ball, so I need a redemption arc. But yet then I got Jelly Roll wrestling. I don't care about Jelly Roll. You see him on Logan Paul. It's stupid shit like that, man. But yet, the Rizzler and Big Boom guy or whatever was on AEW on the pre-show. So what are we doing here? What am I complaining about one thing when I allow another, right? Tolerance is something that has to go both ways. But everybody love everybody. Tell people they matter. That's all I got for you this week on the cage.
All right. So, well, that's it. So, all right. Bye, everybody.
Take care.